sorry. You're an amazing person, Ellie.
Hey guys, welcome back to Critical Eye. I'm Chris.
Kevin.
Then I'm Drew.
Today's a 2-for-1. We're going to be reviewing and discussing The Whale and Glass Onion, the new Knives Out movie. So, without further ado, what do you guys think of The Whale?
Oh, we're starting with the whale.
Yeah, I said let's do...
So without further ado,
we discussed this before, how we were going to do this, because we're going to be filming Avatar later. And I said, well, let's do The Whale and Glass Onion, because we're doing that in one video. And so let's start with The Whale, because it's a little more serious, and then Glass Onion's a little more lighthearted. Yeah. So we'll do The Whale and Glass Onion, and I guess somebody wasn't listening.
No, I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, so The Whale, what'd you guys think?
Dude, The Whale was amazing. I hadn't seen Brendan Fraser since, like, The Journey to the Center of the Earth. So, and that was back in, like, what, 2010?
That was like 2010.
Was that 2010?
It was a long time ago. The Rock sequel came out, like, what, 8 years ago?
Something like that.
I hadn't seen Brendan Fraser since Furry Vengeance. That's so bad.
I've never seen that movie.
Right. You're not missing much. Drew knows.
What do I know? Furry Vengeance? I saw it once.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's weird to see these, like, older actors come out with these, like, resurgence sort of movies. You know, like Adam Sandler with
that was exactly what I was thinking
of. Brendan Fraser with The Whale, you know, Ethan Hawke is coming out with, like, a crazy resurgence.
Did you see that Brendan Fraser was interviewed by Adam Sandler last week?
Oh, yeah, the Actors on Actors thing, right?
Yeah,
the Variety.
Adam Sandler does this thing where, like, he interviews some people now. I don't know if it's just him, but he's interviewed a few people.
Well, Variety does, like, an Actors on Actors thing on YouTube.
Yeah, I think that's what it was from, yeah.
I didn't see that. That's interesting. Because they're both, like... Who knew they had it in them, right?
Well,
like, who knew that...
Adam Sandler's always been a good actor. He just doesn't...
He prefers to be, like, goofy, yeah.
You know, because if you watch, like, Punch Drunk Love and the Meyerowitz stories, those are really good Sandler performances.
Yeah.
Even 50 Ways to... What is it? 50 First Dates. Yeah. He's not bad in that one, either.
Yeah, he's definitely got some dramatic chops. Like, if you watch, like... Even toward the end of Big Daddy, where he has to, like, give up the kid and he's, like, starting to cry, you can see that he's actually pretty good. It's weird to see some comedic actors use their dramatic sort of skills. Like, everything good?
Yeah, I'm just looking up The Whale.
You just did The Whale while Chris is talking, while Kevin's talking.
It's weird to see some of these, like, and this is getting a little bit off topic because he's not really a comedic actor. But... I mean, he's kind of a comedic actor, right, Brendan Fraser? Cause
I don't know if he'd be a comedic actor, but he knew how to make a scene lighthearted.
Yeah, like he was definitely a little bit funnier in The Mummy.
Yeah, because I wouldn't call The Mummy a comedy, but he was able to make the role entertaining.
Yeah,
and then there's George of the Jungle, where it's just complete slapstick, like, which is it's a classic.
Yeah,
it's not one of my favorite movies, but it's just like fun.
It's an alright movie. I don't remember the last time I saw it, but I remember it being... Yeah.
People just love it. It's got, like, such a cult following.
Yeah. And then, like,
I do love The Mummy.
Center of the Earth was one of those, like, adventure movies where you kind of brought some funny moments, too.
I do love The Mummy, though.
I like The Mummy. I can't watch it anymore, though.
Why?
Because those little bugs, they freak me the fuck out every time. I can't stand them. They freak me out every time.
They look so fake, though.
Like the bug when you kicked me in the knee.
Like, when I was... It's one of those things where, like, when I was a kid, I watched it, and they looked so real when I was young that, like... Ugh. I hate just thinking about them.
Like that bug...
beans because of them.
Like when I warned you of that bug and you kicked me in the knee because you thought I was joking?
Yeah, because you looked behind me and you were like...
and you kicked me. You kicked me in the shin.
There was nothing, and it almost took you out.
Yeah, and I was limping.
Yeah. I didn't even look. I just swung backwards, and I just happened to hit your knee. I could have hit the wall for all I knew. But I just swung backwards and just happened to hit your knee. But, anyways, back to The Whale. Yeah. I'm sorry for hitting you in the knee.
Thank you. I forgive you now.
Thank you. Yeah, I can't watch The Mummy anymore because of those bugs.
You said back to The Whale, and you started talking about The Mummy.
Well, because Brendan Fraser, we're talking about...
No. It was just funny to me.
Also, like, because it was small side note, in Florida at Universal Studios they have a mummy ride.
Yeah, I've been on that before.
Yeah, and the part where like
I've never
they
been
make
on
it
that.
feel like there's bugs crawling on you, that also
What?
terrorized me.
I don't remember that from the ride.
You don't remember that?
Oh my
It's-
god,
it's
I
a-
would
it's a-
hate that.
It's
They
a
do
roller
that.
coaster, right?
Yeah, well, it's an indoor roller coaster. So
Yeah.
there's like parts where you stop and it's like people talking to you and stuff like that. And there's one point where you're like going up, and it's like all black, but there's like the mummy talking to you, and he says something where, they
hey,
make
what's up,
it
guys? I'm
feel
the
like
mummy.
they're crawling on your legs.
What's up, guys? I'm the mummy. I'm gonna put some bugs on you now.
I don't think he says that. But it freaked me out when I was a kid. Like the ride and the movies, I hate now because those bugs. I can't even eat black beans anymore because of those bugs. They just remind me of the black beans. So like, I hate those bugs.
I
They
think
just
this
ruined
is turning more into a therapy session than a movie review.
Interesting.
Yeah. But Brendan Fraser, I didn't realize he had it in him to do something like that. He would have been the last actor I would have thought would come out of like nowhere with a great acting performance. Like
I've
this.
always liked him, and I felt really bad for him when he got blacklisted.
I didn't know what he got blood.
So he came out with some, and he talked about some. I don't remember that person's name, but it was someone that was like
From the Hollywood Foreign something.
the Hollywood Foreign Press,
Yeah,
like
the
a guy
Hollywood-
pretty
yeah.
high up in the Hollywood Foreign Press. He came out and said this guy like roped him at a party or something, and it turned into this whole thing. And the guy was like, he denied it, and Brendan Fraser ended up basically getting blacklisted from Hollywood because they didn't believe
No,
him.
that's not the Furry
Right?
Vengeance.
What?
Furry Vengeance.
Also, Furry Vengeance. Didn't his wife leave him too and like take a bunch of money?
Yeah, his wife left him. He got groped. He started Furry Vengeance. It was a bad time.
And so
for
he
him.
was doing movies just to make money at this point. And so Furry Vengeance was one of those. It was awful, and then he got blacklisted.
Sounds like he just had a rough couple of years.
It was like a
He
decade,
did, yeah, so it's
wasn't
really
it? There was a
yeah, probably like a good 10 years. Because what has he been in the last 10 years?
Furry Vengeance.
Yeah,
anything.
but yeah, no, it's really nice to see him come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
hope
He was actually this. I don't think this was supposed to be his comeback movie. I think, Killer Flowers of the Moon, or that new whatever it's called.
Flowers
the
of the
new
Killer Moon, the,
Flowers, yeah, the new
Donald-
Scorsese movie.
Scorsese movie. Yeah.
That was supposed to come out earlier this year. That was supposed to be his
Oh.
comeback movie.
He was supposed to be.
He's in
he
that?
was supposed
Yeah,
to be
he's
in
in that,
Batgirl
yeah.
too. He was
I
supposed
know
to be.
Leo's in it.
He was supposed to be in Batgirl too. He was supposed
Yeah.
to be Firefly.
Interesting.
And
But
then
they
he was
fully
supposed to be-
scrapped that movie.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like
Yeah, they
the
just threw
villain
it
of
away.
that movie.
Interesting. Yeah, I've heard a lot about Flowers of the Killer Moon. I know.
I don't know anything about.
I think
that.
it's a book
It's a book.
that they
Yeah.
turned into a movie about like it's like a
There's
historical.
There's only one image of the movie. They keep showing it everywhere.
Yeah, and it's just like Scorsese.
And just like
and
for the
Leo.
longest time, there's just that one image of Brendan Fraser for the whale.
Yeah, it's just like Leo, right? And
You mean
Yeah,
this
Leo
one?
and some girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm making you do more. I'm sorry.
What?
Who's ever editing this? I just made them do more work.
What?
You said the image of Brendan Fraser from the whale, and I went, you mean this one?
No, we're not doing that. So you can do that.
I'm not.
Yeah,
It's
you do
okay.
that.
We don't have to do it. You can look it up.
Yeah. Look up the whale.
Don't
It's
put
probably
that
gonna be the
image
first.
It's
picture
it's
that
it's
pops up.
It should be right
it's
here.
the movie poster outside of our cinema.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But he was fantastic in this movie. I
Yeah.
think we need a Brendan Fraser, Adam Sandler, and Ethan Hawke movie ASAP. It doesn't matter what it
We
is.
already
as
have
long as
one.
it's a drama.
Well,
Brendan
we
Fraser
already
and Adam
have 2/3
Sandler.
of that.
Brendan Fraser and Adam Sandler were in a movie together
Yeah, with Steve Buscemi.
called Airheads.
They played. They're in a band.
Yeah, then it's like a cult classic.
Yeah, they're the punk band. The three of them.
I have to watch it then. But we need Ethan Hawke, and we need it to be a drama. Because I
Yes.
want to see who's the best. Those three dudes are making a resurgence. Like, Adam Sandler's
Sorry.
fantastic. Brendan
We'll be
Fraser,
talking about Ethan Hawke later.
Ethan Hawke has, like... He hasn't had...
Oh yeah.
We will.
Yeah.
Because that was completely threw me off guard. But...
I remember that. I was like, wait, what? That's the guy from Moon.
But Ethan Hawke hasn't had that like one role where he's kind of like widely renowned, but he's come out in like a few different smaller projects where he's like slowly showing that he's still
The
got
Black
it.
Phone.
Yeah, the Black Phone. He was in Moon Knight and he was amazing. He was in what was the other one? He was in another one. What was the third one?
From this year.
Yeah, The Northman. He was in The Northman.
Oh,
He was
right,
pretty
I
good.
forgot about
He had a
that.
small role in that.
Yeah, he was pretty good in The Northman. So he's coming out with like smaller roles just to sort of like show he still got it. But I think
Well,
a
Black
bigger role
Phone
is
and
is
Moon Knight, where he was pretty
cards.
major in those movies.
In which one?
Black Phone and Moon Knight, he was pretty major in those.
Yeah, but it wasn't like a really critically like. It's not like you know how Brendan Fraser's.
Oh, you're talking about like the. I thought you were talking about like his role in the movie, like his importance to the.
No, like how when Adam Sandler had it, everybody was like, "Oh my god, Adam
Like
Sandler
Uncut
can
Gems.
act." Yeah, and then like Brendan Fraser, now everybody's like, "Oh my god, Brendan Fraser can act." We know Ethan Hawke can act, but he needs that one role.
Ethan Hawke's
He's, like,
never really had a downfall.
He hasn't, but he's been like away for a while. I haven't seen him
He
in a
didn't
long
get
time.
blacklisted though.
No,
He
he
got
probably just took some
black-phoned.
time away.
He got black.
Yeah, he probably just took some time away, but he's a great actor, and I think he needs to show it in like a perfect role for him. And I'm not sure who's going to give him that role, but
Yeah.
I think he can do it sometime.
So your initial thoughts on the whale?
Oh,
Yay
the
or
whale.
nay?
Right, let's get back to the whale.
Yay or nay?
Oh, definitely yeah. Yeah.
It's a yay.
Yeah. I like. I really like. I was like kind of. I don't know. I was just so like taken back by like the subtle like nuances that Brendan Fraser showed. There was just like a lot. Like he tried to like. You could tell he wasn't happy.
Mhm.
Well, let me actually, to make more sense, if you don't know the story, let me just give like a summary, I guess.
Yeah, just give a small like quick.
So
synopsis.
it's an obese and reclusive English teacher tries to reconnect with his estranged teenage daughter for one last chance at redemption. I wanted to like read it because like I didn't know if I would like describe it properly.
Just describe.
Yeah, so he's like a large, I think they said 600-pound man.
He's got to be more. He's tall. He's got to be more than 600.
He
pounds.
is tall. That's right. When he took his shirt, he was like
Like
towering.
maybe 800-pound dude.
He was. I thought they said 600 in the film though.
Ah,
They said over 600.
So he's over 600 pounds.
He's big. It wouldn't be called the whale if he wasn't big.
Well, the whole yeah, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So over 600-pound man. Basically, he had left his family to be with his male lover, and something happens to the male lover, and that's when Brendan Fraser started eating, and his daughter is basically like, what's the word? She's wants nothing to do with him.
She's a witch with a bee.
She really
That's probably a good way to
She
describe
really
her.
was. Like I really
Yeah.
didn't like her at
She
all.
was such an
And I
asshole. I
like
was like,
Sadie.
whoa.
I like Sadie Sink.
Yeah, but some of the things she was doing in the movie, I was like,
Yeah, I did.
That's
And like
cruel.
the
That's,
way
like,
she was like
evil.
talking.
yeah, like she took a picture of him, of the whale, and she put him on like
Like
her
Facebook.
Facebook or something like that. She was like, "There's gonna be a grease fire in hell when he dies," and I was like, "Damn,
Yeah.
that's cruel, dude. Why would you do that?"
And over the course of and he tries to reconnect with her. And over the course of the movie, you meet his friend, who's also like a nurse, and she helps take care of
Yeah.
him. And she's really pushing for him to go to the hospital to get some kind of surgery, or because she told him like, if you don't go to the hospital, you're gonna die within a week. Because it was like congestive heart failure.
Yeah.
And then some another guy comes in who's played by Hong Chow is her name, that plays the nurse.
The friend, yeah. Hung Chao plays
She's
the
I've
friend.
seen her in other something.
She's also
else.
in the menu.
Oh yeah, she was. Yeah.
She's in other things too. I don't remember what else.
Oh.
I only remember the menu from recent memory. She's the like head assistant of Ralph Fiennes' character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also meet Thomas. That's what it says in here.
Yeah.
He's played by Ty Simpkins.
Yeah.
Who's like in
Like-
so many things. He's the
Yeah.
kid from the original Jurassic World, right?
Yep.
He's in Iron Man 3.
He's in
Iron
Iron
Man
Man 3. He's in Avengers Endgame. He's at the funeral.
He's a kid where, like, at first glance, you're like, who is this kid? And then
'Cause
you
you,
start
like, he
looking up
looks
to him, you're
familiar.
Like, I've seen him in everything.
Because you're
What
like,
is
he
this?
looks familiar.
I didn't
Who is
recognize
he?
him
yeah.
at all.
I didn't recognize him either. He's so much older now. Like, even in Jurassic World, he was
I didn't
much
even think he
younger.
looked familiar.
I thought he looked a little bit familiar, and I was like, maybe I'll look him up afterwards.
But when he comes in, you think he's just somebody. Basically, he's like someone coming door to door to get you to join a religion. But then turns out that he's so much more than that.
Aren't they
No.
called, like, missionaries?
That's still kind of what he's doing.
He is doing that, but you learn that you learn about his past and why he's doing it, and he's not entirely who he said he is.
Also, I'm sorry if I just got that wrong. Aren't they called, like, missionaries?
They are missionaries. I couldn't
Okay.
think of the word
Yeah.
though. Thank
I
you.
wanted to make sure I got it right.
Yeah,
wasn't
no,
wrong.
I couldn't think of the word, so thank you.
Of course.
I almost said Mormon, but I know that he's not a Mormon. He
Yeah,
wasn't
no.
Mormon. I don't even remember what the church was called.
I think Mormon is a religion.
It is.
It's called, like, New Life Church or something like that. They think that the apocalypse is coming,
Yeah,
so they're trying to spread the word of God before, like,
But-
everybody dies.
but that's basically the gist of the movie.
Yeah.
Really good.
Very good.
2 thumbs up.
He's also another interesting part is he's like a professor,
Yeah.
and he he's an online professor. He doesn't go into school, but he's an online professor, and he's constantly has his camera off, so that nobody can see him, and he's also constantly doing these like assignments where it's like he got really angry toward the end of the movie. He's like fuck this reading. Everything.
He just wants you to be honest.
Yeah, just give me something honest. Who cares? And people were like, "I hate this class."
He was like,
he wasn't being honest with them. He never showed himself.
Yeah. So then he was like, you guys were honest with me. Let me be honest with you. And he pulled out a camera and he
like,
showed
this is
them
what I
him.
look like.
That's
the end of the
movie. But...
Yeah.
Well, that's not the full end.
Well, it's pretty close.
It's pretty close to the
Kind
end.
of close to the end.
So yeah, spoilers.
Well,
but if you don't know, this movie is based on a play.
Yes.
Of the same name by Samuel D. Hunter. I had to look it up because I couldn't remember his name.
Mm-hmm.
But the college that we went to once did a show. Did The Whale for their like yearly play.
Did you see it?
No, I didn't get a chance to.
I didn't see it.
I wanted to because I heard it was like really good.
I missed out on that.
But... Yeah, I think it was the year before I started, or it was the year I started, but I never went into like the theater department until the year after.
Yeah,
it was out.
I didn't get a chance to, and I was like,
yeah.
But I every time I walked by the theater department, they had like the pictures of the plays, and that was up there, and I was like, and I always kind of wondered about it. I was like, huh. I didn't know what it was about at the time, and I was like, it just kind of stood out to me, though.
Yeah, everyone I know who saw the play said it was amazing. I was like, I missed out on that.
Yeah, same.
So I was like, hey, Darren Aronofsky comes in for the clutch.
Yeah.
I thought, so before we went to see it, I had Anna watch What's Eating Gilbert Grape. Because I had seen that movie, but I had never seen The Whale, so I thought they may have been similar.
Good. It's good.
Yeah, but they're completely different.
Yeah, no,
they are nowhere near similar.
No. I mean, it's like you're showing Black Swan. Black Swan's like nothing like any of those.
Black Swan's the same director.
It is the same director. You're talking about movies that you thought would be similar, but it's
because it's like the giant mom.
Did you think an 800-pound Brendan Fraser would be doing ballet?
What are you talking about?
The Whale Arena?
No, I thought because I'd never seen or heard anything about The Whale. So I thought it may have been the same thing. I heard Sadie Sink was in it. I was like, maybe it's that she's trying to live her life, but he won't let her because he's like keeping her held down. But it's nothing like that.
No, she's trying to.
She's like, you have to pay. Because you find out he's got
live a life.
Yeah, because you find out what he's like. I can't go to the hospital because that's what his friend is like pushing him to do. It's like and she's like, he can't afford life insurance either. And then you find out later that he goes nowhere. So he's got what, like $200,000 in his bank.
Yeah, he had like 100 and something thousand.
It's got like some crazy amount of money, and she gets so mad at him.
Yeah, he basically
because he works all the time.
He works all the time. He doesn't really spend money except for groceries and food.
The pizza delivery guy.
Pizza delivery guy was cool. But he basically just been saving up all his money so that he can give it to his daughter when he passes away, and. Like, every time they're like, you need to go to the hospital, he's like, no, because that's going to... Without telling her that he has money, he's like, that's going to cost money. It's going to, like... He says he doesn't have the money to pay for it, but really he's trying to tell her that it's just going to drain his savings that he's been saving up for her. So he's, like, refusing to go to the hospital. She's a nurse, so she's been, like, helping him out. But he's been, like, refusing to go to the hospital just because... he wants to keep that money for her. But at the beginning of the movie, you find out that he has, like, a heart condition.
Well, because of being obese.
Yeah, because of being obese, he has, like...
congenital heart failure.
Yeah, congenital heart failure. So he only, like... The movie's throughout, like, a week. And...
It's basically, it's one setting.
Yeah.
Except for, the, like, one or two times they go out to his porch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's another thing I wanted to talk about. But you go first.
No, I was just saying, that's pretty much... It's a one... Because it's a play, so it's pretty much a one location.
So when you're watching it, you're like, this feels like I'm watching a play.
Yeah, that's my biggest critique about the film, is that it feels like it's a play.
Yeah.
Like,
I didn't mind it, though.
Oh, no, I thought it was great, but I was going to say, I can't see this, like, getting any, like, screenplay awards, because it's pretty much just the play.
Yeah.
But Darren Aronofsky and all the other people involved with, like, the filming of the movie did a great job, like, interpreting a play onto the big screen.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of those movies I'd say if you're not in a great place emotionally or mentally, probably don't go see it.
Well,
or it could lift you up. You'd be like, hey, at least I'm not that guy.
He got lifted up at the end.
It is a very, like, motivating movie. If you understand...
You heard what I just said.
Yeah. If you understand the meaning behind the movie, it's actually a pretty motivating movie. Like, he's basically like his daughter, who everybody in her life thinks that she's like this evil being. He's the only person who sees like good in her. She does like this crazy things, all these crazy things, and he's like, I still think she's a great person. Like, I watched her when she was young, and she didn't show any signs of evil. Like, I know I haven't seen her in a while, but I still believe that she's a great person. And like, she did this, like with the missionary, she called his parents because they didn't know where he was, and they like told him to come back home, and he was like, my parents actually let me go home, which intentionally, I think she was just trying to like mess with him. She was trying to like mess up his life, but unintentionally she actually saved his life. She helped him get back to his family and stuff like that. But he's basically like, he believes that there's good in everybody. He believes that there's at least some saving grace in people.
The Brendan Fraser, right?
Yeah.
Because he even says it when he goes, do you ever think that people are incapable of not caring?
Yeah.
And you're just like, that's such a profound, like...
Yeah, that's such a good line.
I've never, like, thought of that before.
Nobody really thinks about that.
But, like, if you, like, think about it, even if someone acts like they don't care, or they're lashing out in anger at something, it's because they care.
Yeah.
They, like, the people on, like, Facebook or social media, when they comment, like, oh, I don't care, you cared enough to take the time to, like, comment something. So, clearly you cared at some...
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's talking more about, like, positive care.
Yeah, well... Still, I think it could go either way if you look at it.
I think he's just talking more like, not necessarily caring about like, you know, like how other people feel, but just caring about being a good person and being able to do good just for the sake of being good, not because somebody's paying you.
Yeah.
You know? And so he's basically talking about how like, he still believes there can be good in this world. Yeah. Even at this time where he himself has done like some very shitty things. Like he left his family, he left his daughter to live and like live his life with his student.
Was this it was a student.
It was
right?
He basically left his family just to go live and like be with his student. Like, he himself has done some pretty shitty things.
He realized how selfish he was.
Yeah, but he knows that, like, there still can be good in people.
Yeah.
Even he, like, his nurse friend, she was talking about how, like, she had to walk through the snow because her truck died, and he offered to pay for her truck to be fixed, and she was like, no, because I thought you didn't have money.
She's like, you can't afford it. He goes, no, I can.
Yeah, but she thought he didn't have money. He didn't tell her that he had money. He just said, hey, I can help fix your car. But, like, he's like, I know I did, like, shitty things like that, but it's with good intention because I don't want to have people knowing that I have all of this money because they're going to want me to spend it all, but it's all for my daughter. Like, it's bad actions with good intentions. It's like, it's a give and take, you know?
But then it goes back to, did anything that he did actually like do good for the world? Because you know the trailer, this is in the trailer where like he's like, I just want to know I did one good thing in my life when he's talking about his daughter. Like, you know, that's his daughter is really the only other thing he's done with his life, and like
the only other thing he cares about.
And she's a menace.
Yeah.
It goes back to, is he like creating this false narrative that he's done good, like this false positivity of yes, she's great because I can't accept the fact that she's not, or is he just actually that positive?
Yeah.
So I think that because like you said, he's someone who knows that he's made all these mistakes, and he's trying because he knows he's gonna die, and there's no avoiding it. He just doesn't want to go to the he's not happy in life. He just doesn't want to be. He doesn't want to be around anymore. But he also wants to make up for everything, and like you said, he sees the good in everyone, because you know he's been through hell and back himself. Because I know his student who ended up being his lover was like a part of that church, and then when they was he a part of the church?
Who was who a part?
His lover.
Yeah, because he was the friend's sister.
Yeah,
brother. He was a friend's brother.
The nurse's brother, and then when they found out he was gay, they that's
shunned
him. right?
Well, yeah, not to get down. Are we going to
It's
hardcore
fine.
spoilers?
Well, you guys should know from the title card that there's. You guys should know from all of our videos there's gonna be spoilers.
Yeah.
and
Like,
then
once
he
we
ends
start
up
recording.
he
there's
ends
no
up
holding back.
the lover like jumps off of a bridge and they find him.
Yeah.
But they keep saying that their church killed him.
Hmm.
You know, metaphor,
Yeah, they, like,
symbolically killed him. They
over
pushed
the
him.
edge. But
Yeah.
really is like they just made.
So
him feel
he's
shitty
obviously
about
that's why he's overweight because of eating, because of that, and
himself.
it's just I think it's you go back and there's a whole allegory with Moby Dick, and in the beginning when he's having that like the heart attack or whatever, I don't, it's not a heart attack. It's
Yeah. When she has to like
no
jump on him. 'Cause
No,
he's
in the
just
beginning.
No. In the beginning, when
he's like
when the missionary walks in, and
he's, like, furiously,
he's like
like,
read Moby Dick.
pleasuring himself.
Yeah.
He's like furiously pleasuring himself.
masturbating.
Yeah, and
Oh yeah, that's how the movie opens.
yeah, it opens with him
Yeah.
masturbating to gay porn, and
And then the missionary.
the
comes in and
missionary,
saves his
he's like
life.
he thinks it's the nurse, so he's like it's okay, it's open, just come in,
Yeah.
and he's like holding his heart, and he's like he's like read this essay, just read it, because it's the only thing that calms him down,
Yeah.
because it's something you find out later that his daughter wrote, not one of his students.
Yeah. And
It's so
like,
honest, and she talks. It's about Moby Dick.
Yeah.
And it's like it opens up with Ishmael, and he's in a seaside town in a bed with another man named Queequeg, which I don't know if you've read Moby Dick. I've read parts of it. It's actually really interesting.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know. It's
I never read
it's a
Moby
whole
Dick,
allegory to him being the whale and the daughter, like trying to fight him, like the
Yeah.
clash. It's the clash.
Yeah.
Because that's what Moby Dick is. It's Ishmael trying to kill the whale
Gotcha.
the whole time.
Yeah.
But it's just that whole allegory of him being the whale, but because this is something his daughter wrote, and he knows she's so honest, and that's all he wants from his students and anyone,
Yeah.
it calms him down.
Yeah.
And it's
he's
really
like,
interesting.
He's like, this is one of the most honest essays I've ever heard in my
Yeah,
life.
and he loves it. It's his favorite.
Yeah, it literally saves him when he's having those like heart pains. He just either reads it or he has somebody read it to him, and he just kind of remembers how honest his daughter was there,
And then his
and how
daughter,
innocent she was.
yeah, and then his daughter, when she like takes pictures of him, and then she takes pictures of Thomas, and he's like, "What are you gonna do with those pictures?" And she's like, "I'm gonna masturbate to them." But she's like being like sarcastic.
Yeah, she's definitely sarcastic and kind of like attitude. Like
But
she has an
then she
attitude,
like
but-
posts stuff about him online, and
Yeah,
it's that whole thing where because she's so brutally like, she just doesn't care.
yeah. She does a lot of bad things, but
But it's her way of being completely honest, because she's showing full face. She just doesn't care about anything. She's mad at him, and that's all she wants him to know.
Yeah, and that's her being honest too.
Yeah, that's the whole. That's
Yeah.
being honest, not in a great way, but she's still being honest, and he's like he appreciates that.
Yeah, he's like, you can be a terrible person if you're being honest. Like if you're honestly thinking that, this world is useless or this person is, an asshole, as long as you're being honest and you're not just like lying to their face, he appreciates it. Like, he doesn't appreciate somebody being like, "Hey, you're a fantastic dude," when you just killed somebody. He appreciates you being like, "You just killed somebody. That sounds like a dick move." Like he appreciates honesty. He appreciates genuine human contact. So when like his daughter starts doing all these mean things, he's like, "I understand that like, you're angry because I left, but also I still see the good in you. I still see that you can be not saved, but like you can turn around from this. You can be a better person if you want. Like you don't have to keep doing all this like assholey things." He understands that like what he and her mom separating and him just leaving for another student definitely had a big role in like how she is now. So he's trying to like see the good in her because he knows he's partially to blame for everything.
Or maybe he doesn't think anything's wrong with her. Maybe he's just happy that she's honest.
Yeah.
That's a good point too. Yeah, there's a lot of like up for interpretation in this movie. Like there's a lot of like things that you would think mean one thing, but they do mean another. There's a lot of symbolism in the movie, I think.
I think I read somewhere, and I could be wrong, but I feel like I read or heard it somewhere that the play is loosely based off the author's own like life experiences.
Oh, I don't
Yeah, I've heard it. I don't
I've
know
heard-
exactly
I don't-
what he
yeah.
went through.
That must.
I mean, obviously he wasn't the whale.
No,
Yeah.
but I think it must be the whole relationship with his family thing. I'm
Probably,
assuming
yeah.
that's probably part of it.
This movie, I'll say, hit home pretty hard for me.
It did.
Because, like, that is one of my biggest fears, is, like, getting that big.
That's
'Cause
yeah.
when you're that big, I've had, like, issues with weight. Like, when I was younger, I wasn't skinny. I was fat. And I'm still not skinny. But, like, getting that big has always been a big fear.
Like
of
having
mine.
to use a walker
Having to
and
use a walker.
stuff to like help assist you to get into bed and out of
Yeah.
bed and use the bathroom.
You're trapped in your own body. Like, you can't
Yeah.
do anything because your body is weighing you down. It's a terrible way to live, and, like, you don't want to be at the point where you can't even walk to the bathroom without, like, assistance. You can't wash yourself without needing, like, assistance.
He needed like a whole sponge stick.
Yeah. or,
Because you
like,
see him. There's a scene where he's in a shower and he's standing there. He's like holding on to something, and he's this like stick that's like this long,
Yeah.
and it's just like
Or even, like, getting into bed, he needs the pulley thing that's on,
Yeah.
like, hanging from the ceiling. He needs to, like, pull himself into bed. Like,
they
that's...
have a thing to like turn the light on, and it's like
Yeah, that's, like, one of my biggest fears, is getting that big. And I don't want to ever get that big. I understand that it's, like, something tragic that happened to him that caused this huge, like, eating disorder. But, like, I really
Well, it sounds like
fear doing that.
it sounded like he already had a problem with eating anyways, and then
Yeah.
this just pushed him over the edge.
Yeah.
there's like several scenes where he's just like eating and eating and eating, and it's I think you understand the context behind it too. I think if I went in not understanding, I would be like, well, that's just gross.
But
But,
there's
like-
only one gross. Like, I mean, he eats throughout the movie. But there's only one scene where it's really
That's the candy and that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
There's
When
There's
he's just
only-
rummaging through his kitchen, right?
yeah.
But you're supposed to. You have the context behind what he's doing because he's just so like over everything. He's like, I'm done. I'm not happy.
Yeah.
And like
Well, he stress eats, so I think
I,
that scene.
I
was,
was
like,
trying
right
to figure out if he was
after-
trying to kill himself or not.
that's what I thought he was doing.
That scene was, like, right after something crazy happened, wasn't it?
When the pizza guy saw him.
Yeah.
The pizza guy
He-
saw him.
Yeah, the pizza guy saw
You don't
him.
remember that? The pizza guy was like, it was like one of the last scenes the pizza guy was in was where he was like,
It's
yeah,
the
you
last
know-
scene with him.
Yeah, he was like, the money's in the
mailbox.
as usual, and when he goes out to, like, grab it, he's in the wheelchair. He looks up, and the pizza guy's at the top of the stairs just staring at his door.
Oh right, yeah.
And he's like, oh my god. And this is, like, the nicest pizza guy I've ever seen, by the way. Like, he's not just like, here's your pizza, give me the money. He's like, how are you doing today?
He like has a
How
little
you
like
doing?
he's
What's
like,
going
thanks,
on?"
man. Like he's
But
really
that goes
Yeah,
that
he's
goes back to him because he wins that eating fit because of what the pizza guy did,
yeah.
which goes back to lack of honesty. Because the pizza guy was nice the whole time. He thought he was being honest, and he thought they had that trust where I leave you the money, you don't see me, and he broke that promise, which means he was never honest.
Yeah.
I think that's a whole like we've been talking about honesty was a whole big part of this whole movie. Being honest with yourself, with people around you, and
Yeah.
which it really is such an important like thing.
Yeah. Honesty is a huge thing, and, like,
Good.
That's just how long we've been going.
33 minutes. We can transition
Oh,
over
perfect.
soon to the next movie.
No, I was just kidding. I was just curious.
well, before we do that, I have another thing. Because, like, technical-wise, I love movies where it's like, there's not a lot of set. There's not a lot of actors. Like, when it's a small-budget movie like this, where there's just, literally in this entire movie, you see, like, 6 people. That's it.
Yeah, the whole 90% of movies is in a room about this big.
Yeah, exactly. It's like everything's in his apartment. There's like 6 characters. There's not a lot of action going on. It's all like it's mostly like dialogue. It's mostly like acting. It's
Yeah.
like body language, it's facial
It's-
expressions, it's everything you can within the small confines that you have to tell a story.
All of them gave such good performances.
Yeah, there wasn't a single like
Yeah,
bad
this-
performance. Even the pizza guy was great. Like,
I would
love
say
those guys.
this movie is more heavily focused on the performances over the script. Because, while the script is good, it when you think about it, it's nothing special. Like, we're talking about honesty. Like, a lot of movies have talk about honesty. A lot of movies have these themes and do them the same way. But it's just the way that, not just Brendan Fraser, but the way that everyone performs these roles is what really gets you.
Yeah, and I think when you have the right director, the right actors, it just goes to show that like you don't need these giant set pieces like we're gonna talk about Avatar later. Avatar's a huge budget movie, which still has a like a good story, but like most of the movie, most of the thing the movie is known for is like the beauty in Pandora, like
Yeah.
the ocean, the jungle, just the people. Everything is gorgeous in that movie.
It's a visual. Well, granted, I don't think the whale's a visually pleasing experience
Yeah,
of a film, but
Exactly, but that's what I mean. Is like when you have the right director, you have the right actors. You don't need all of that. When you have the right story and the right people in the right spot, all it takes is an apartment and 6 people, and you can make a great movie. You can make just magic happen. We've seen it recently with was that movie, The Guilty, with
The
Jake
Guilty?
Gyllenhaal?
yeah,
He's literally like the only person in that movie.
yeah. Did you see the outfit? That's another. That's
I haven't seen.
I was surprised. That's one location movie. I was surprised. But that's a good one.
Yeah. But movies like that, where like all you really need is like the right story, the right director, the right actors, and you can have a great movie. The Guilty was one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I remember seeing
It was.
that.
Yeah.
It got a lot of bad reviews, but I actually really.
I really liked
I
it. It
loved
was
it.
so cool to me. Like, and
Yeah.
it's based on like a film from like another country.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard the original's a lot better.
Yeah,
but
that's
I
what I
really
heard.
liked the Jake Gyllenhaal.
I like Jake
Yeah.
Gyllenhaal.
And besides like a few minor characters who have like a couple of lines here and there,
Like his,
it's literally
like
just
the
Jake
chief
Gyllenhaal.
or what his boss.
Yeah, it's literally just Jake Gyllenhaal in a room. That's it. That's all you need, and it was an amazing movie.
Pretty much
like-
everyone else is just voice acting.
Yeah, and the only other times it leaves the room, like everything is blurry. When they show like the outside, it's all blurry. You don't see.
Well, it's behind the
anything
frosted
definitive.
glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, well, I mean, like when they cut out of the entire station a couple times, where like the ambulance is pulling up to the car to pull it over or something like that. But it's not
Wait,
like
the
an
ambulance
actual.
is pulling a car over?
Well, I think it's a cop. They like looking for the car. They pull it over.
Oh, yeah.
It's like
I remember that.
It's like a shot where you can tell by the figures what's going on, but everything is blurry.
Yeah.
Anything clear is all in the room. And all it is him on the phone talking to people. And, like, the few cops that are in the actual, like, precinct. But most of it is just him talking to people on the phone. And, like, if you have a great actor... I think Jake Gyllenhaal is fantastic. I love Jake Gyllenhaal. When you have that one great actor in one room by himself, you can do amazing things. That's why The Whale is so great to me. Because, like, you have, 6 people in one apartment? And it's still an amazing movie. Like, nobody had a bad performance. Even the mom, who was okay, she was still really good. Like, she just played off of everybody.
I thought some of her delivery was weird, and I don't really remember much of what she said, but I remember feeling like some of her delivery was odd.
It seemed theatrical. Like
Yeah.
like she seemed like she seemed like she was doing more of a theater performance compared to everyone else. But I thought she was very good though.
Yeah, I didn't think she was bad. I just thought the delivery was like off compared to like everyone else's. Not in a bad way. It was just exactly what Drew was saying.
Yeah, and another, like, good example of this is Saw. Jigsaw. The first one, when there's not a lot of big, like, contraptions. The first one is just those 2 guys in the same room. Yeah, there's other scenes, like, outside, but, like, the first one, I think, is the best one. The first Saw. Because there's not a lot of crazy contraptions. It's just 2 guys chained up in a room. They're trying to get out. They're trying
What
not
was
to
it?
die.
Dr. Phil and
That's
Michael
scary
Jordan.
movie.
I know. I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
And it's Shaq, not Michael Jordan.
Not Michael Jordan. Yeah, Shaq.
Yeah. But like, you just have these 2 guys in a room, they're chained up. Yeah, they know they're gonna die, but they're only in a room. Like, there's not much for them to do. But they start talking. They start developing the story. They start learning about each other. You get a great movie out of just 2 people chained up in a room. Like, there's plenty of examples about this.
Yeah.
Where, like, it's just a couple of actors in, like, a small set, and you get a really good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
I
that's-
went on
no,
that.
no,
I was thinking about
yeah.
that in the car, and I was like, oh my god. It's great.
I really like plays in general.
Yeah,
So
plays
it's
are great.
like, yeah.
I like plays too. Like, I like going to a theater and just sitting there watching a performance. Because,
Yeah.
like, I've only been to a couple in my life. I think I've only been to, like, 2 or 3. But they've just been fun. You just sit there. We went to go see, in New York, The Play That Goes Wrong.
Oh, I wanted to see
I've
that
heard
so
that one,
bad.
yeah.
Oh, it
I've
was
seen the show.
fantastic. It was
I've seen
hilarious.
the like the Christmas
Is that based on
special.
Monty Python?
It's not.
I
It's
have
like
no
their own
idea.
like original.
Okay, for some reason that was Monty Python.
Yeah.
I so bad wanted to see. When did you go?
It's fantastic.
When was it in New York?
We went when Anna was in charge of Drama Club. We did like a bunch of fundraisers and we brought all of Drama Club to New York
God,
to watch.
I wish I. God, I so
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was hilarious because it was
It's
like
so good, well done. It's like incredible.
yeah, because it's supposed to be like basically the play is like they're trying to tell a story of like a whodunit sort of story where
But
like
it's
somebody
just
dies.
things
in a
keep
mansion.
going wrong.
Everything goes wrong. Like
Yeah.
Like things will fall off the wall and fall on someone's head.
Yeah, the set falls apart.
Or
the
there's
actors are losing
the one
props
guy that has to
money.
like keep. He writes his lines and things, so he has to keep like.
Yeah,
And then
At
he'll
one
read
point-
like stage directions.
At one point, which was amazing, one of the actors, one of the main actors, he was like looking for a book, and it was under the couch, and like the
Yeah.
audience could see it, but he can't see it. He's like looking around the set, like, man, where's this book? Where's this book? And the audience is like, it's under the couch, and he's like, shut up! He's like yelling at the audience. He's like, what are you guys doing? I'm trying to act here. And then he's like, it's obviously a comedy. He looks at one guy, he goes, why can't you guys be more like him? It's been an hour and a half, he hasn't laughed once. And I was cracking up. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. But like, I love just going to theater. I saw that. I saw In the Heights.
I saw
at,
that. It was
at the college.
at the college too.
Yeah, and then I was actually in Enemy of the People. I had like one line. Or actually, I had 2
Congratulations!
lines.
Did
Yeah.
you win any awards?
Yeah, man, I won an Oscar for that. Actually,
Well,
no, a Tony.
Tony.
I won a Tony.
You won a Tony?
Yeah, man, I'm a quarter of the way to that
You got.
like Grand Slam sort of thing. Yeah,
you also
mean,
have a Tony.
Yeah, I was gonna say you kind of did win.
I
a
do
Tony.
have a Tony.
You did win a Tony.
I do have a Tony.
That's what I was going for.
Yeah, but like whenever I hear that a movie is based on a play, I get kind of excited because I'm like, it's got to be at least something, you know. I mean, it doesn't have to be, but like, there's potential when it's a
Gotta be
successful-
something.
When it's a successful enough play to be made into a movie, there's potential. You know, like Les Miserables.
I love Les Mis.
I haven't seen it yet, any of them, but like, if it was a good enough play to be that good of a movie, where like I haven't seen
They
it.
made
but I've
like
heard a
3
lot
movies
about
of it.
Yeah, there's 3 movies.
There's 3. Like, there's like
Oh,
3
sorry.
versions of it.
I didn't even know that. But like,
I love the music and it's just so good.
yeah, things like Phantom of the Opera. There's
Who
like
am I?
6 movies. of
Well,
it.
you don't have much more time for that one because that one's permanently closing like early next year. Yeah.
they're doing.
Yeah.
They're taking off Broadway. It's the
Really?
longest running show on Broadway, and they're done.
Damn.
They'll probably bring it back at some point.
Yeah, it's probably being run over by Hamilton. Hamilton's just taking over Broadway. And The Cursed Child, Harry Potter. I want to go see that one.
Yeah, that's in New York now.
Is it in New York? I want to
Yeah.
see that.
But like,
We should go.
I'm down for it. But like when you have like a something from another, usually adaptations, there's already like a built fan base. There's already a built story. It's not like an original thing where it could flop or it could be great. It's like it's already good in another thing. You just don't fuck it up. Like just don't mess it up bringing it to the other medium, you know?
Yeah.
Like you already have a good story. Just don't mess it up in this other medium. Some things don't work, you know? Like a lot of Stephen King's adaptations don't work because there's a lot in the books that you can't put in a movie. But like or like you can't put in a TV show. But like sometimes when it's the right story, like The Whale, you can like translate it over into movies and it turns out amazing, you know? So like I just love movies
Yeah.
like that where it's like a small set or like
Well,
a play like thing.
It's kind of like because we all love The Whale,
Mm-hmm.
but it's actually getting very mixed reviews.
It's
Probably,
one of the
it's
Well, you either hate or you love
Which
it.
I don't know if that's because it's a play or because it's Darren Aronofsky and he's already a pretty divisive director as it is.
Is he?
What else has he done? I like
Black
He did
Swan?
Black Swan. He did Mother.
That's
I didn't.
Did he
I
do
looked him
Requiem?
up.
I think he did
He
Requiem
did
for a Dream.
Requiem,
Yeah.
Requiem for a Dream. That's a good movie.
I don't think I've seen any of his movies.
Black Swan's
Black
good.
Swan's really good.
I never saw.
Yeah.
These are the only two I've seen: Whale and Black Swan, both animal related.
He did Noah in 2011.
Oh yeah, I saw that's awful. Yeah, that's a bad
Noah.
one. I can't.
I remember. I never.
Yeah, no. I
He did-
know his name, but I don't think I've seen any of his
Pie
movies.
screenplay and the Gorilla Diaries. I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that
The
is.
Fountain.
The Fountain. Yeah, I haven't seen that, but I've heard that one's not bad.
Yeah, I think The Whale might just be my introduction to Darren Aronofsky.
Let's Kill Johnny Badhair.
I don't know.
Now you're just
I'll have
making
to watch
stuff
his
up.
other ones.
Oh, these are books too. He writes books.
I don't know. We're breaking news.
Yeah.
We're-
You know Tarantino's getting into like novel
Yeah,
writing?
Yeah.
he wrote a novel version of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
He was on
It's apparently really good too.
he was on Tom Segura's podcast talking about how he wanted to just keep writing novels. He didn't
Oh.
really- like after he's done with his last movie, he's gonna just write
Okay,
novels.
I'm not gonna hit you. Relax. I want like this to say something, and you will like
I was trying to like move my
Oh,
arms.
he
with my hands
did
or my
The Wrestler with Mickey Rourke.
I've seen that movie.
That's good.
That was good. That was
Which
really
is
good.
almost pretty similar to The Whale, right? Isn't it about?
Yeah.
It's about
self-destruction, sort of.
yeah,
Yeah, a
about
guy
a man
trying
trying
to-
to reconnect with his daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
Mickey Rourke's an odd guy.
Mickey Rourke is a weird dude, but he's good.
He's
I
an
remember that
interesting
year-
looking guy too.
Yeah, that year he was at WrestleMania. And
Was
he had
he?
a whole beef with like Chris Jericho. That was really cool. I liked
Yeah,
it.
well,
It was good promotion for
Chris
the movie, 'cause I
Jericho
was
of
like,
Oz?
He's in a movie?
Chris Jericho of Oz.
What?
He's in a band. Did you know Chris Jericho's band Oz?
Fozzy.
No.
Fozzy. Sorry, if I can always
That's
say
why
that.
I didn't know what you were talking about.
It's Fozzy. I said of Oz because if you look at his Instagram, it looks like it says like Jericho of Oz because it's Jericho Fozzy.
Yeah. He's in a band. He's a wrestler. He's a really good wrestler, and he's also in a band called
He's
Fozzy.
really funny too. Actually,
Yeah, he's hilarious. He's one of the best guys on the mic, like, in history.
he's like friends with the Impractical Jokers, and he was on an episode of them, and he was hilarious.
Yeah. This is off topic, though.
Yeah, that's just
Jericho's
that's
great.
a
Go look at him.
off the record.
Yeah, he's current, like, AEW wrestler now, but he's fantastic. Go look him up. He's one of those ones where I would have been like, okay, I can see you being an actor, you know? Like, obviously, The Rock was going to be an actor. Everybody knew that. But, like, Chris Jericho would have probably been,
Batista.
like, the second one I'd done. I would
Batista.
have never guessed.
But he's
Alright.
just one of the best
Let's get
wrestlers
into-
to act. That's like a thing right now.
Let's get into
Sorry,
last segment.
sidebar, really quick. There's been this thing going around about like wrestlers turned actors and who's the best one. And you obviously got like John Cena and The Rock and Dave Bautista. And a lot of people are like, it's Dave Bautista's the best wrestler turned actor.
He
Because
is.
I feel like John Cena does a lot of the same characters. The Rock does a lot of the same characters. But you watch Dave Bautista, he does like absolutely the most serious roles and then he can be hilarious.
Yeah, he's actually one of the ones, like, I never expected him to be an actor. But then he I think being casted as Drax, people see that he's more of a funny dude than he is like a badass. So he gets casted in all these, like, funny-ass roles, like Glass Onion. I was cracking up with him, with,
He's
what was the
gonna,
other
yeah.
movie? He was in Stuber. Stuber was funny.
I never saw that. That's the one with Kumail Nanjiani, right?
Yeah, and he's like an Uber driver.
Wasn't he in Bad Times at the El Royale?
Was he?
No.
I don't remember.
think so.
I haven't seen it for a while.
No, I don't think he was.
What was he? He was in.
He's been in a couple
He's in
things.
Blade Runner.
But yeah, but he's in Blade Runner.
What was
That's
that?
one of his serious
Oh, he is
roles.
in Blade Runner. That's right.
He's only in it for like a couple minutes, but that's one of his serious
What
roles.
was that movie again? Was it They Fall? The one where like you put the glasses on, you could see like the creatures.
They Live from
They
the
live.
80s.
Yeah, there's a wrestler in that. It's the guy.
Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper. He's in it.
I couldn't remember
he's
his
like-
name. I couldn't remember his name. That's
Isn't
why I was
that- isn't
like.
the movie where he's like, I love
He-
kicking ass and chewing bubble gum, and I'm all out of
That's
bubble
good.
gum.
He's like that's a really cool movie, and he does all those like he's
I haven't seen
he's
those yet.
like jumping and landing on concrete himself. It's like it's not like a stunt actor.
Yeah, you should see his fight with.
So when he's bleeding, like he's really bleeding.
He has a street fight with Goldust at one of the WrestleManias. That's like
I don't know who that
like
is.
in the street, and they're like hitting each other with trash cans, hitting each other, like running each other over with cars and
Wait,
shit.
you don't do that?
No,
We should try that, Kevin.
we are seriously off topic, but
All right, so back to the will,
Back to the will.
and then we'll move to Glass Onion.
yeah.
Should we do Glass Onion in a separate video, or how long is this one
How long
going?
is this one?
47 minutes,
We can do it
48
in-
minutes.
I
What?
don't think Glass Onion is gonna be as long as the Whale.
Okay.
So I think we can do it.
So final thoughts
It'd be
on The
like-
Whale?
Like an hour and a half. I
And
love
then, then how many stars out of 5?
I'd say a good like 4. I'll give it 4.5 out of 5 because it wasn't like the perfect movie, but it was still an amazing movie.
Yeah.
Um,
And we're back. Sorry about that. We had a little technical difficulties. The camera just cut for some reason.
Yeah, the camera
Kevin
just
was in the
stopped
middle
for some
of
reason.
saying something and then it just stopped. We heard the beep.
yeah, I was
So-
basically just saying like I give it a 4.5 out of 5, and I think Brendan Fraser is going to take a lot of awards this season. I think he may win an Oscar, which would be
You're going to
impressive. After
spill that
like,
on your computer.
There's not enough in it. I know how much water's in my cup. I think it'll be impressive if like the first project he's been in like a long time wins him an Oscar. That would be impressive. Like nobody saw this coming from him. What came like out of this last couple years where he just kind of like hit a switch and now he's an Oscar-winning actor. And what's his next project? I'm excited for his next project.
Darren Aronofsky?
You think he's gonna hang out?
No,
with
it's his
Darren
next
Aronofsky?
one. The Scorsese one.
Yeah.
Wait, the-
It is. I think you were asking what Darren Aronofsky's next project
No,
was, and I was
no.
like, I don't know.
We were talking about. He was talking about Brendan Fraser this whole time.
You could clearly see where my head's at.
No, Brendan Fraser. I think. Yeah, you said.
Killer Flowers of the something moon.
Flowers of the Killer
Trip
Moon,
to the
I
moon.
think.
Trip to the Moon. Yeah,
Flowers of the
Oh my
Killer
god,
Moon,
that
I
movie
think.
is so
something
bad.
like that. Yeah.
Scorsese's new movie, which is like, just knowing that Scorsese and Leo, you're like, it's probably going to be nominated for an Oscar. Now that you
He
know Brendan
works with
Fraser's
Leo
in
a
it.
lot.
Yeah,
Scorsese?
yeah, it is. Gangs of New York,
Leo,
Wolf
De
of
Niro.
Wall Street,
Yeah.
The Departed, De Niro.
To Titanic? I'm just kidding.
He didn't-
I know.
Did he
I'm
do
just.
Titanic?
No, he didn't. That was James
Okay.
Cameron. I'm kidding.
James Cameron did Titanic. I've been trying to think of like all the James Cameron movies because
Yeah,
they
that's
went
his.
long.
You didn't know
that
he
was
did
his big.
Titanic?
That's probably still his biggest movie.
Well, I know. I was
I mean,
trying
next
to
to
think of
Avatar,
like.
but yeah.
I was trying to think of like all the movies that
Terminator?
James Cameron made.
Yeah, he did the first two Terminators.
T-
Yeah, I was trying to tell Anna. I was like, he did Terminator. He did.
the,
Aliens.
the best,
Aliens,
the
he
best
did-
Terminator movies, and
He
then the
did
best Alien movie.
True Lies with,
That's the one
with Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger, yeah. And
He did Piranha 2.
Piranha 3D.
He
That's
did.
the one with Schwarzenegger and Jamie Lee Curtis, right? She's younger in that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was like, Anna, if you look up any like action adventure movie, all the best ones are by like James Cameron.
We can
He's fantastic.
talk about them when
Yeah,
we talk about
in
Avatar.
Avatar.
in our Avatar review. Yeah.
But like, I completely forgot that he did Titanic too.
He didn't do Titanic 2. He did Titanic 1. There is a second
you know
Titanic.
Oh, he did?
No,
There
he
is?
didn't do 2.
there
No,
is
there
there
is
is
a
a
second?
Titanic 2, but it's
There's a
but it's
Titanic 2, but it's really
a money
bad.
grab movie.
I didn't even know there was a Titanic too.
It's so bad.
But yeah, Flowers of the Killer Moon he's gonna be in, which is already like there's some movies where you see the cast and you see the director, you're like, hey, it's probably gonna be like an award-winning movie.
Like The Irishman was one of those, like, you looked at it and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, like I think that with Oppenheimer. When I see Oppenheimer, I'm like, oh my god,
I'm so
it's gonna be
excited
an
for that.
amazing movie. Like you have
Killing
You have-
Cillian Murphy.
Cillian Murphy. Cillian Murphy's fantastic.
Peaky
I freaking
Blinders?
love that guy. Peaky Blinders,
Uh,
Inception,
What was the Be Quiet
um,
movie?
A
A
Quiet Place.
Quiet Place. I couldn't
Yeah.
think of it. I was like, the Be Quiet movie.
A Quiet Place 2. He's just great in everything. I love Cillian Murphy. He's one of those like great actors, but like he hasn't been like in the spotlight yet. Like he hasn't had any big.
This is it.
big killer roles. Like this
Oppenheimer's
is
gonna
probably
be-
his biggest role. But like it's also got Downey Jr. It's got I don't remember exactly who's in it, but I remember hearing like every week when they were doing casting that there was like somebody else casted. I think Robert Pattinson's the movie. I think like a bunch of people are in this movie.
Josh Peck is in it for
Josh
some,
Peck for some
Wait,
reason.
Jeff Beck?
Josh Peck.
Josh Peck's in Oppenheimer?
He was in the trailer.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. You're right.
Yeah.
But there's like a huge cast for
Dude.
this movie, and then you got Christopher Nolan at the helm, and it's like, okay, well, it's
And
probably gonna be good.
Barbie's coming in.
Barbie's gonna be good. I think Barbie's gonna be good.
I'm excited for Barbie.
I'm
I am
excited.
too. That
We're going to
trailer-
see that.
That trailer has me like, okay, I can see it.
We're going to see it in theaters. I'm so excited for it.
We're gonna see it in theaters and IMAX.
And 3D.
I'm actually kind of happy because like I thought they were gonna do Barbie in like the real world, but they're gonna do Barbie in Barbie world, and I like Barbie world. Like she's Barbie girl, she needs to be in Barbie world. She can't be in like New York.
in real life New York City.
Yeah, I was surprised in the trailer. I didn't know.
Dude, that was a cool
Simu
trailer.
Liu was in the movie.
That's like, if you watch the trailer, or the first teaser they put out for it, it's like a shot-for-shot remake for the, what was it, the Planet of the Apes, like the original.
Yeah.
Which, it was so
That wasn't Planet of the Apes.
Not Planet of the Apes. It
That was 2001.
2001 A Space Odyssey. Sorry, why was I saying Planet of the... Oh, because the monkeys. It was
They were-
2001.
They
I've
were
seen...
babies. They weren't monkeys. They were little girls.
They...
What are you talking about?
I thought they were monkeys the first time I saw it.
The little girls with tiny dolls. What are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about in 2001. They were
Yeah.
monkeys.
Yeah, they're monkeys. Yeah, in 2001.
But it was really cool, the
The trailer
trailer.
does look good. Speaking of shot for shot, The Whale.
The whale.
Anna saw the trailer, or she saw the actual play, and she said it was very close to the play.
No, yeah, it was...
Yeah,
it's
that's what I'm
like-
saying.
The
That's
playwright
because-
helmed the script. He wrote the script
Yeah.
with Darren Aronofsky for the movie. Like, he adapted it.
Yeah,
with
she
Darren.
said besides like one or two parts, everything was like line for line from the play, and I was like, that translated perfectly
Yeah.
then. But yeah,
Drew's final thoughts.
what are your final thoughts on
My
the rating?
final thoughts on The Whale. I thought it was really good. I'd probably give it a 4.5. One thing we didn't really talk about was the music. I really like the music in this
Oh,
movie.
yes.
I don't remember the movie too much.
I actually, when we got home the next day, I listened to the soundtrack or the score. I didn't realize, but like in the background, there's a lot of like ocean sounds
Yeah.
throughout the whole score.
Really?
Yeah, which I think is really cool because whales are.
Yeah. I didn't
Yeah,
even
no,
realize that.
For Oscar purposes, I could see this movie only getting like 2 nominations: Best Actor and best makeup.
God, the
Best
prosthetic.
makeup.
We didn't talk about it. The prosthetics. I kept meaning to bring that up really quick, and then I'll give my final thoughts.
Yeah.
But the prosthetics, they were so good on. Like,
Yeah. Sorry, keep thinking.
there were scenes where he didn't, like, have... Like, he took his shirt off or he didn't have any clothes on, and you can't...
Yeah.
There's not one seam or anything from that suit.
Yeah.
From the fact, you can't... It's, like, flawless.
It was really good looking. Like,
Yeah.
You would have thought that he really just put on all that weight because you couldn't see anything different.
I think there was one scene where it kind of looked fake, but other than that, I thought it like
was
towards the
really
beginning,
Oh, when he first took his shirt off?
probably like there. It didn't look bad, but it was kind of looked noticeable. But the rest of the time, it looked fine.
Yeah. It wasn't like Father Stew with Mark Wahlberg's fat suit.
You could see the...
seam. I was so
Yeah.
mad. I was like, why would you put why would you put the lighting there where you can see the seam on his neck? It doesn't make any sense. I was so mad. But this movie was really good. Like, you could barely tell it was a fat suit. And actually, I'm not going to name names, but our friend, the friend we've been talking about recently, starts with a K. You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Asked me when I told him we were going to go see the whale. He was like, "Is that
Oh,
a fat suit?" I was like, "Kobe, if he put
You
on
said
all
his
that
name.
weight, he would die."
Dude, you just said his name.
Fat suit. Oh, whoops.
We can bleep
Sorry,
his name
Kobe.
out. We
Nah, it's
we
okay.
can...
No, it's okay.
He
If
watches our stuff.
If he sees
Hi,
it-
Kobe.
Hi, Kobe. Kobe asked me if it was an actual fat suit, and I could not stop laughing. I was like, Kobe, if he had all that weight actually put on,
That would kill
he
him.
would die. And he wouldn't be in any other movies because he wouldn't be able to walk. Like, he wouldn't be able to do anything.
We're not making fun of you, Kobe.
They actually
Yeah.
did try to find an actor who was close to that size for the role,
Yeah.
but it was too difficult to find someone, so they ended up going to Brendan Fraser.
They could have just had
I think they did it
Mike
for-
Myers as Bat Bastard.
I think they did it for Gilbert Grape, right? That lady's actually...
That woman's actually that size.
Yeah. Also,
Was she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, Kobe's a good friend. He's a cool dude. He's a friend of ours, but he does ask some stupid questions.
No, you're just roasting him in this.
Yeah, there's no need for that.
I don't mean to roast him. Kobe, you know I love you, bro. But, like, you ask some stupid questions sometimes. But, off of Kobe, I don't feel like roasting him anymore. So,
My
your
final thoughts.
on the whale.
I think I gave it like a 4.5
Mhm.
out of 5.
Hey, we're just 4.5. Yay.
That makes it easier for
Yeah.
us. It was really
Yeah.
good. I would probably watch it again when it came out.
Yeah, I'd want to watch it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would too. I would definitely watch it again.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
Highly recommended. Very good movie. Probably one of the best of the year. Alrighty.
All right. So now we're gonna talk about the new murder mystery movie that everyone's talking about. That's sweeping the nation of that is Netflix.
Sweeping the Netflix nation.
A little movie called Glass Onion.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Matilda.
We don't need to do that.
Matilda the musical came out the same day, I think.
It did with Emma I liked Emma Thompson. I thought she was weird, but I like her.
That can be its own review.
I like her. I normally like.
Camera shut off again.
I like Emma Thompson normally, but the
Emma
movie,
Thompson's good. I like
the
her.
movie was. Did you ever see the Leo Good Luck Leo Grand or whatever it's called?
No, I haven't.
It was
but
good.
I brought us down a rabbit hole.
It was good
She got nominated for a Golden Globe, so
for that movie.
Yeah,
I'm
for
down to
the
watch
movie.
it. All right, but Glass Onion,
Glass Onion, a Knives Out mystery,
which she's not in. Emma
Sure.
Thompson's not in.
directed by Ryan Johnson, director of such movies such as
Knives Out.
Yeah.
Knives
original
Out,
Knives Out.
not original Knives Out, and
Was she
The
in
Last Jedi,
Yeah, and Looper.
and Looper.
And Brick. Brick's a
Looper.
good one.
Looper confused me.
Is she the one that did
Ryan Johnson's a man.
Is he the one who did? He's not the one that did Hereditary and Midsommar.
No, that's Ari Aster.
Oh, okay,
He-
I got them mixed up.
He also directed a couple episodes of Breaking Bad. Like I think he directed the Fly one.
Oh, The Fly one's like the best one. That's a great show. That's a great episode. Like that's
He
one of
did the.
ones
I
that-
love that. Ryan Johnson worked on Rogue One.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I thought he had a camera or something like that.
He also
But-
worked on Evil Demon Goofball from Hell. He did in 1996.
But Glass Onion.
Yes, but Glass Onion.
Um,
Take it away, host.
Glass Onion. It stars Madeline Klein.
That's Agatha.
That's Whiskey.
Oh, Whiskey. Okay.
She's
What is?
I wouldn't say it stars her.
It doesn't star, but
Yeah, it doesn't
she is
star.
one of the main,
I wouldn't even call
occasionally
it
main cast.
She's more of a side.
And I've seen her somewhere, and I
a main.
don't
It
know
stars
where.
Daniel Craig, Edward
Daniel
Norton,
Craig,
Dave
Kate
Bautista.
Hudson, Kate Hudson, Jessica Henwick, Edward Norton, Catherine Hahn, Janelle Monáe, who
Janelle
was
Monáe was-
fantastic
She
in
was
it.
this movie.
Yeah, at first everyone says she was really great, and at first I was kind of like, I don't know, like she's fine, but then I don't want to spoil shit, but when that thing happens,
Yeah.
and then she starts doing her thing, and I'm like, okay, now she's really
Yeah.
good.
I was like, whoa, that was great.
Ethan Hawke, we'll talk about that again. We'll talk about him in a minute.
Ethan Hawke, this movie has a lot of cameos.
Angela
Yeah.
Lansbury had a cameo in it. I don't remember
that?
the Murder She Wrote lady.
She voices the teapot in Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah,
Still don't know who that is. What's a picture of her?
this woman. I don't remember who she was in the.
And the guy who plays Aaron Burr in Hamilton.
Stephen Sondheim had like a cameo apparently.
Yeah,
Serena
there's-
Williams was in this movie.
Yeah, you don't remember when they were
Yeah,
in the,
she
they were
was in the gym.
Oh yeah, yeah,
She was
yeah.
like, "You guys gonna do a thing or not?"
Was that
Yo-yo.
like, was she like,
Yeah,
was
God.
that like a live thing there? Or was
Oh my
I
that,
think
god,
it was a live thing.
Guys.
Actually. I think that she was just listening to them.
the cameo! I didn't. Hugh Grant, Yo-Yo
Yeah.
Ma,
Yo-Yo Ma's in this?
Hugh
Yeah.
Grant's in it.
Natasha Lyonne. Oh, I like her. She's in Russian Doll.
Who? Oh yeah,
Natasha
she's in-
Lyonne, and then Orange
Yeah.
is the New Black. I like her.
yeah. There's a lot of the cameos in
Kareem.
that one scene where he's in the bath.
Yeah.
And he has like the zoom.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I could see it. He's probably in the video too.
But yeah,
Most cameras in the video.
Leslie Odom Jr. was also one of the main, and I like him too.
Yeah.
But it's about this Edward Norton plays Miles Brown. He's like a billionaire in the tech world. He invites these group of people, that he says he calls his friends, to his private island in Greece, and he basically, the whole invitation is, hey, come to have dinner with me, spend the weekend. It's gonna be a murder mystery party, except I'm gonna get murdered,
Alright.
and you're gonna have the weekend to solve it. And that's like, and that's the premise, basic premise of the movie.
Yeah, he's basically like, "Hey, there's gonna be a murder mystery weekend. You guys are gonna have to solve my murder."
Yeah.
And they show up for this weekend in Greece. I mean, I would too.
Private
It was
island in
pretty great.
Greece.
Yeah, and then
And you can rent that Glass Onion place on Airbnb.
can you actually?
Yeah, it's like ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, I would imagine like, but
But
somebody invites Benoit Blanc. who's,
yeah,
like,
and you
the
find out
world's
who,
greatest
because he's like,
detective.
I didn't invite you.
Yeah, at the beginning, Edward Norton's like, "Why are you here?" He's like, "I mean, I got an invite." And he's like, "What?" He's like, "I didn't send you an invite." He's like, "Yeah, I got a box. It was a puzzle. I solved the puzzle. It's pretty like childish games."
Yeah, but
Meanwhile,
What?
the entire other cast is like racking their brains trying to solve this puzzle, and he's just like, "Yeah, they're pretty childish games."
what are your initial thoughts before we dive deeper into it?
I loved it. If I'm being honest, I thought it was great. I prefer the first Knives Out. The first Knives Out was amazing. It was probably like my favorite movie that year, but I thought it was a pretty good sequel, and I'd like to see another Benoit Blanc.
Well, there's gonna be another one.
Good, whole new cast, whole new mystery. I like it. Maybe have some cameos from the old ones, like have Anna de Armas show up or something.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, I really like this. I thought it was great. I actually like this more than the original.
I did too.
Yeah, I don't know. The original's really good. There's always something that I was kind of like, it doesn't really meet its full potential. And I think this one, like, sort of pushes a little bit more to almost be that full potential. It hasn't, like, it's not a 5-star movie for me, but I like this one a lot.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was really well written and directed, and I thought the cinematography was really good. It was beautiful.
Yeah.
I thought the acting all around was good. It was very good, actually. Overall, like I said, I really enjoyed it. And I would recommend, if you saw the first one, you like the first one, you'll probably like this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty much, another murder mystery with a fun twist to it.
Yeah, this one's a little faster paced, I think, than the first one.
Yeah.
Yeah, first one was kind of slow.
Yeah.
Like, I know a lot of people like Ana de Armas. I'd spent all since seeing the first one, but I remember not really liking
Well,
her
Ana
that
de
much.
Armas?
Yeah, I remember not really liking her that much in the movie, but everyone seems to like her, though.
I do like her.
That was like her first big role in America,
No,
right?
She's in that movie Knock Knock with Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, but who remembers that one?
Oh, you only like it for that one part, Kevin.
Yeah, the part where he's tied to a chair and they're destroying the statue.
Yeah, that's exactly what you like. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, Anna de Armas was also in Blonde.
Yeah,
She wasn't blonde. That's a movie.
That was a that was a
movie.
terrible.
You don't have to.
No, it's really bad.
It's really bad.
I remember watching like 10 minutes of it and I got bored.
There's like a
Yeah,
scene
it's another 2.5 hours.
that like
of
goes. There's like a
boring.
scene that goes like into her.
Chris, this is a children's show.
It's a children's show, but they can't.
This is a family friendly.
Into
Watch
another
your fucking
scene.
mouth. I'm kidding. Yeah, I have. We tried to watch it one night, and then we got to
It's
like
not good.
10, maybe 15 minutes. I think
It's
we
not-
stopped after she did like that one. She did like a audition where she started crying in the middle of the audition, and I was like,
The whole movie's her crying. There's not one scene where she doesn't cry in the movie.
well, I mean, she got nominated for a Golden Globe, so
For that movie?
Yeah,
who knows?
but she was good in the movie.
She was
The-
good,
The movie,
but
was, the movie was awful. But I
Yeah,
mean,
you can have a great
she's
performance
good,
and
then-
Yeah,
terrible.
okay, if she got nominated, it's fine.
The
But
Suicide Squad won Best Makeup at the Oscars, even though that was
like the original?
the
or-
original. Yeah, the
first-
original.
really?
The original won an Oscar before the MCU did.
Oh, it's so bad.
And even that movie, like that was a terrible movie, but we still got Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn out of it, and she's not bad. I do like her as Harley Quinn.
Too bad she
We-
probably won't be Too bad she probably won't be Harley Quinn anymore. But
Probably not. Yeah, they're Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn now. So
Well,
we'll
that's
see.
not connected to the DCEU.
but they're revamping the DCE.
I know, James Gunn.
Yeah, they're also talking about they're gonna connect Robert Pattinson's Batman to the DCEU now.
I
So-
don't mind that.
We'll see. Maybe they'll bring the Joker in.
Maybe.
I'm the Joker, baby.
Well, they already have a Joker, but
Yeah, they do.
Jared Leto.
Which he was great in the Banshees of Inisherin.
yeah, Barry Keoghan.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Jared Leto.
he's great in that.
These are very off topic.
Yeah.
But,
Knives Out.
Knives Out. We'll do
Glass
another
What?
when the nominations for the Oscars come out.
We'll
we
do
can
another.
like a small video on
Like a
the
reaction video?
nominations. Yeah, on like the nominations and which ones we've seen and which ones we agree with and who.
Which
When do
one's-
those come out?
January.
Yeah, we'll talk about like
Because
Towards the end of the month.
then the actual show's in February or March, right?
Typically,
Yeah.
it's like last week of February or early March.
I know it's somewhere around
The last couple of years, because of COVID, it was all over the place. Like when they were doing it, but typically, I think it's like end of February, early March.
But this is like the first normal one they're gonna have, right? In a long time.
well, last year's. Well, what's your idea of normal?
No one's slapping anyone.
We can't make any promises, Chris.
It all depends on the host. The hosts last year were terrible.
The host is Jimmy Kimmel this year.
Oh, okay.
I don't mind
kinda
Jimmy
like
Kimmel.
I
don't
like
know.
Jimmy Kimmel.
He hosted it before. I don't remember liking it when he hosted it. So I guess
He's
I'll be interested to
hosted.
see.
He's hosted like the Golden Globes before, and
I just
other
want
stuff.
Ricky Gervais back.
Oh my god, he just roasted everyone in the audience.
Jimmy Kimmel has like a funny skit going with Matt Damon.
Oh,
I
the
think
hating
he's
each
good.
other.
Yeah, where he was like he like crashed
Was
one of his
Matt
shows.
Damon in anything this year?
Matt Damon, I don't think so.
No, he's gonna be in one of the Avatars.
Yeah.
Oh, because he wanted him to be in it.
James Cameron wants.
He
him.
says he wants him to be in it, but he said, "quote Fuck it though. He's not getting 10%." That's what James Cameron said. Because Matt Damon probably was like, "I
Well,
want."
Matt Damon turned down Avatar.
He did.
He was going to get
He
10% of the profits.
He was gonna get the role that
He
Sam
was gonna
Worthington
get-
got. He was gonna be the lead of
and
Avatar.
he said that's his biggest mistake.
He was gonna be Sully.
And then they gave it to what's
Sam
that guy's name?
Worthington.
Sam Worthington.
I actually really like Sam
That dude
Worthington.
hasn't been in much, but like I don't blame him because you're in Avatar, like one of the highest grossing movies of all time. So
Just
like,
like,
I'd be
fuck
like,
it,
yeah, I'm
he's
just
not
gonna
getting
quit acting at
10%.
this point. Him and oh my god, Zoe Saldana must be rich, dude. Like she
All right,
must be
well,
Well,
rolling.
that's
in
next
it.
video.
That's next video.
Yeah, we're off topic.
Next video.
So, yeah, sorry. Okay, now we'll stick to it. Knives Out.
Glass onion.
Glass Onion.
What did you think of the performances?
They were good. I was pleasantly surprised. I thought they were funny as hell. Like, I thought Dave Bautista was amazing in his first like couple minutes where he was like, "Ma, shut up! I'm trying to do this." And she like
And she
slapped
slapped
him.
it.
He's like-
Okay, Among
he's like,
Us.
Damn, Mom, alright, I'm sorry.
I can't believe they put Among Us in this movie.
I thought it was great.
I loved
playing
it.
Among Us.
I thought that was great, and he was losing.
He was losing. He's like, he goes, "Well, this is absurd."
Yeah. And then when he gets to the island, he's like, "Yeah, I'm no good at those simple games. I'm better at like, the more advanced."
the
I
movie,
love that.
the movie takes place in May of 2020, like right in the middle of COVID.
So that's
Yeah.
when Among Us was
And,
like,
you know, so the beginning of the movie is all kind of like COVID centric. It's kind of interesting how like they did a good job like summarizing everyone's experience during COVID.
Yeah.
I don't know how well that's going to make the beginning of the movie age. Like, 20 years, 20, 30 years from now, are the next generations going to like be able to relate to the beginning of this movie?
I think it will, because I think a lot of movies do that now. Like, a lot of movies and shows have people in masks, or people in, like a lot of the hospital shows, like Grey's Anatomy, have people in, like, masks, and they all talk about COVID. So I think there's been so much media, like, much, like, movies
But
and TV shows.
like,
A lot of movies-
the kids that didn't grow up with COVID in the
A lot of
future,
movies
will they
ma-
be able to relate?
Probably not relate, but they'll know sort of what it was like. It's like when we watched, like, a Holocaust movie. We weren't there, but, like, the movies show how devastating it was.
Yeah.
You know, we can kind of see... We can't relate because we weren't there,
Like
obviously.
Schindler's List, you see, yeah.
Yeah, or like The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. We can't, like... We
But
can't,
this-
like, relate to it, but we can
but-
see how devastating it was.
But those Holocaust movies, they portray the Holocaust as the tragedy. The COVID movies like these, like even though COVID is a tragedy, they're not really portraying COVID as a tragedy. They're still portrayed as like a daily life. Like the
true, yeah.
movies in the 60s, a lot of them talk about the Cold War. Like I have no connection to that. Like it doesn't impact me, but people back then probably felt, even though there were small conversations in those movies, they probably felt more connected when they talk about the Cold War.
That's fair. People in the future probably think it was just a joke. Because, like, a lot of and whenever you see, especially in movies, it's mostly, like, comedies, like The Bubble or Knives Out. Like, it's mostly just making fun of it. Like, you have to wear a mask.
Well, like there was small like how everyone was wearing masks except Dave Bautista, which he seemed like the kind of character who wouldn't wear a mask.
Well,
Did you see
Kate Hudson's
Bernie
character.
J's?
Yeah, Kate Hudson. She
yeah,
had,
yeah.
like,
It's
it was just like nothing to
Yeah, just like wire.
And then
like,
and then she was like, "I'm so glad I can finally take this off and breathe."
Yeah, it's like,
I watched
Whoa.
Brian Johnson do they do notes on a scene. Is that a Variety that does that?
I have no idea.
It's on YouTube. It's a really great series of directors like break down scenes, and he broke down that scene.
yeah, it's GQ, right?
It's GQ. That's what it is.
Yeah, I've seen a couple of those.
It's really cool.
They do like the actors in their roles too. I
Yeah,
think I saw the
but he
picture
did
now.
notes on the scene, and he talked about he goes when Kate Hudson showed up, she was on the cart. The guy driving it actually was I think not a producer, but he worked on the film, and he was actually they're like, perfect, we'll use them. He gets his one line in.
Yeah.
And he goes, you can actually, if you look, or no, when Dave Bautista came in on the bike, you could see that they had done it multiple times, because if you looked at the ground, there was a scratch, and so you could see the kickstand thing. I
Yeah.
couldn't think of the word. Had been put down multiple times, and like
I didn't catch that.
the guy driving the cart like looked directly at the camera at one point. He goes, "Don't do it. We love it, but don't do that if you're ever in a film."
Fair enough. Yeah.
I liked, like Catherine Hahn's character. When she sees like Benoit Blanc is there, she's like really excited and she's talking to him, and her mask goes down, and she's still talking, and then she kind of stops and she's like, and she like picks it back. It's like really subtle, like
Who?
Catherine Hahn's character, the mayor,
the governor.
the governor.
Oh, she's the one that plays Agatha.
Yeah, she played
WandaVision.
Claire in this movie.
Yeah, she's a really good actress. I like her. She was really good in this movie, and then
Also, that's when not Kevin Bacon. I always want to call him Kevin Bacon.
Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke, because he looks like Kevin Bacon
No, he
sometimes.
doesn't.
I don't think he looks like Kevin Bacon at all.
There's certain scenes like I see him and I'm like, is that Kevin Bacon?
They have the same head shape.
Yeah, but their
The-
facial features are completely different. But I know what you're talking about. Ethan Hawke shows up for like 5 minutes to be like, "Hey, everybody,
Not even
get on
5
this boat." Yeah, he's like, "Everybody, get on this boat, but open your
and he
mouth."
sprays something
He
in it.
sprays some like disinfectant.
They didn't explain what it was.
Yeah. I kinda wish
Benoit
it-
Blanc was like, "What is that? Is that like a type of disinfectant?" He goes, "You're good." But what is it? Is it like, am I like safe from the pit? You're good. Like he just kept telling him you're
He's
good.
like, and he
It's
put
like,
he goes, "Oh, all right."
What
He like
is
puts
it?
his mask up. He goes, "You can take it off. You won't need that anymore."
Yeah, and he's like, "But what is it?" I'd be like, "Listen, I don't trust that shit. I'm keep wearing my mask. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, what is it? Explain it. Tell me exactly what it is, and then I'll be able to take my mask off." But it was good. Batista was probably my favorite part of this movie. He was funny. He was like, when he started going through the box, and they're like, "What is this? What is this? What is this?" And his mom kept being like, "Oh, it's this." And he's like, "Ma, shut up. We're trying to figure it out."
I'm not the only one that confused them, because there's a thing for when Moon Knight came out, because I thought that Ethan Hawke's character, when I saw the trailer for the first time, was Kevin Bacon. And there's an article that said Marvel fans confused Ethan Hawke for Kevin Bacon. And there's an article, and I'm not the only one.
How did that happen? They don't look anything like each other. I can easily distinguish Ethan Hawke and Kevin Bacon. That's weird. I don't know. Either way.
There's even a website called Famous Lookalikes, and they're like on there together. I'm not the only one. I'm not crazy. A little bit, but
kind of crazy. But we'll see.
I like that I went, well, a little bit, but I went like this.
But yeah, the
Thanks.
you already have Arizona. But yeah, I thought it was good. I thought there wasn't like any like, bad performances. You know, I thought the only like kind of weak one was Birdie's sort of
Okay, Hudson.
yeah, her assistant. She was alright. She wasn't.
Oh, Jessica Henwick.
Yeah, she wasn't like great. She was just kind of there.
Oh yeah, I forgot she was in the movie.
I've
Yeah.
seen her in something else. She's in something.
She's probably in a lot of things.
Yeah. But the puzzle at the beginning I thought was really clever.
Yeah, I like the puzzle. I think it's cool.
She's in The Gray Man.
And it was really funny when Janelle Monáe was like sitting there and she was like, fuck this shit. She took a hammer and just started bashing that shit.
Oh, the box.
Yeah, where she was like, I'm not doing this shit.
What do you think about Leslie Odom Jr.?
Who's that?
He played what's that character's name? He played
The scientist?
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
guy.
he was
He was Aaron Burr in Hamilton.
Yeah. He Lionel.
Thank you, my bad.
Lionel
Exactly.
Toussaint.
He was good. I liked
Lionel Toussaint.
it. There was a lot of like okay like performances. I'd say he's probably like one of the okay ones. Him and I think it's just him. He's probably like the least standout of the people who were invited, besides like the assistant. But like he was okay. I thought him and the other the governor were good together. They were like, you know, scheming.
I just thought of something that was really funny when Edward Norton was talking about the hot sauce. He's like, "Yeah, it's Jeremy Renner's hot sauce," and you see it later. It's just got Jeremy Renner's face on it.
I like that. There was a lot of pop culture references and a lot of like actor references where they were talking about like, you know, different movies and different actors and different things like that. And I was like, okay, that's probably like my least favorite part of that. I was like, you're in your own movie, stop referencing it.
I also like when Daniel Craig went to have like a smoke in the garden, and then the alarm starts going off,
Yeah.
and it's like, this is a non-smoking garden, and he kept doing that, and he throws it in the water, goes,
Yeah.
please protect our waters, and he like goes, oh, and he runs away, because he's like, I don't know what to do.
I thought my favorite, like, the best thing about this movie was when Benoit Blanc, alright, spoiler alert, when he, like, destroys Edward Norton's whole night.
Oh, when they're supposed to do the murder mystery.
He
In like
solves the
2
murder mystery before it even starts.
Yeah, he's like,
He
"Is it start now?"
goes, it starts, then he goes, all right, it's Birdie J.
yeah, it's Birdie J, and she's
the-
after, it's
And he just
the,
goes-
the thing in your,
And he sits down.
yeah, he's like, what? He's like explaining the entire thing. He's like, well, she sat right there. This statue over here is pointing a crossbow right at your chest. Obviously, it's her because you have that emerald. And it was like, he broke down the entire mystery within like 5 seconds. It was insane. I was like, I loved it. But I thought the whole like COVID thing played pretty well into it because it was like, you know, Benoit Blanc couldn't really do anything because of COVID. He couldn't like go on his cases, so he's been like craving a good case. And like it was funny that he's been like in his bathtub for like months because of the pandemic.
Just playing Among Us.
Yeah, just playing Among Us, but like he's been craving like this great case, and then all of a sudden there's this knock at his door and his box shows up, and he's like, "All right, well here we go." And then he shows
It's
up.
kind of fun because another spoiler where he's kind of where like him and Janelle Monáe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Janelle and Monáe are talking about like their theories about like what happened, and then like, you know, Janelle sells her theory, and Daniel Craig's like, "Oh no, that's too simple. They're not that stupid." And then come to find out,
He
like,
is that stupid.
yeah, they are that stupid, and it's just that he was so desperate for like a good case that he was willing to ignore the obvious.
Doesn't he like legitimately say, he goes, "You're all so stupid"? Doesn't he say that to them at one point?
Yeah, he goes,
Probably.
"He's an idiot."
He goes,
Like that's,
because Miles, you're an idiot.
yeah, they're like, he's like, "And who killed me?" He goes, "Shut up, you idiot," or something like that.
Yeah, and he's like,
"You're the one who killed him." He's like, "You did all of that."
yeah,
And it was like small things here and
like
there.
handing
that,
Dave. Oh, by the way, yeah, Dave Bautista's.
Yeah, that's why I love the first one so much, because when he was breaking it down at the end, and it was all these like small details that you just happened to miss in the movie, but they all led up to
Yeah.
what happened. That's why I love the first.
How much are we spoiling this movie?
Oh, we can spoil everything.
Like the little subtle detail, because you're not looking in the background while there's stuff going on.
Yeah.
So it's that subtle detail of when Miles Teller is sitting next to Dave Bautista, and when he sits down, he does this with the drink and he hands it to him.
I'm sorry, who?
Edward Norton. Sorry, Edward Norton. You know when he's with Dave Bautista, and he hands him the drink, and you think he just puts it down because that's how they show it originally. And he goes, "No, you handed it to him."
Yeah, you actually handed
Did they actually show him handing it?
I don't know.
I have to watch it again.
I have to go back and watch that.
Yeah, I think it's gonna take. I have to rewatch that last scene where he's explaining everything, write down everything that he said, and then rewatch the entire movie
I did
to
see
see if he actually did
Birdie J. I saw her on the magazine cover with the.
that. Yeah, I did remember
Yeah.
that.
And then she said she was like a Taurus or something.
And
She's a Ford Taurus.
yeah, another thing I want to see is in that scene where she's like, where Janelle Monáe's like, "I want the truth," where she's like screaming at them. I feel like she may have like switched accents because Helen. All right, spoiler. Janelle Monáe plays twin sisters.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She
Andy
plays
and Helen.
Cassandra.
Andy and
yeah.
Helen. Andy is the one who's involved with all of them. Helen is
And
twin
the one
sister.
who was actually killed before
Yeah.
they were invited to the island.
Yeah, she was killed. It was made to seem like a
Suicide.
suicide. And so Helen
Which-
is like down. She's like convinced it was murder.
What? Why did she get a box?
That's a good point. Because if Edward Norton killed.
Oh, also she got the box, and then she,
But
out of anger, she sent the email that she had the napkin. Oh, so
No,
there's a whole thing about a napkin.
the box came 2 days after she died.
Oh, did it?
Unless he
Oh.
sent it before. And it just happened to show up after he.
I think it was because
possible,
they
yeah.
wanted
I think it
people
may
to think it was a suicide and it wasn't a murder. That it was a suicide and
Oh,
wasn't a
so
murder.
it'd be
So
like-
he did that to make it
He
seem
sent
like.
it, why would he send it to a dead person?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
But no, it was 2 days after they found
Maybe it
the
was
body.
a plot. Maybe it was a plot hole then.
No, I think he may have probably just sent it before. Because it's got to take time to get from Greece to America.
But he's also a billionaire. He could probably just call someone up to stop it.
Fair. I don't know.
I'm sorry.
But anyways, Janelle Monáe plays Andy and Helen, and Helen's Andy's twin sister. So when Andy dies, Helen is convinced it's murder, not suicide.
So her and
she's the one who
her and
recruits.
Benoit Blanc
Yeah.
come up with this thing that she's gonna get her haircut and learn to act like her sister and show up at the island. That's why when they show up, like Miles is so like when he sees her, he's like
Yeah,
what
he's
are you
like,
doing
"Oh,
here?"
What?
he's like really confused.
Yeah. And then she's the one who recruits Benoit Blanc to go to the island. And they start like, they start working together to try to figure out where the napkin is. Because basically, before the island, a couple months before, Andy was basically like cut out of
A couple years.
the entire. No, it was a couple months.
Was it?
It was a couple months before. The trial was a couple months before they were.
Oh, I thought the whole incident was years before.
No, no, no.
It started years, like the company and everything, and their alpha thing started years before, but the whole lawsuit was just a few months before.
Yeah. She was basically like cut out of the company because she couldn't find the napkin where she wrote the original idea.
So she came up with the idea for the company.
Mm.
They started it together, and then he wanted to create that like solid hydrogen fuel, which is really think about it, it's not a good idea.
No, it's not. But he thought it was.
He thought it was great because it's
Yeah.
technically, I guess
Blew
it
up
is.
in his face.
Well, technically, yeah, it is technically cleaner for the environment
Yeah.
because hydrogen's a natural gas. It uses, and then they use seawater, which is an endless like.
Yeah. But it's also like very
Hindenburg.
combustible.
Just what maybe they kept talking about Hindenburg.
Yeah. It's very combustible. It's very
Yeah.
like,
So when she
the smallest fire will just blow.
refused to sign off on it, he cut her out of the company,
Yeah.
and that's the
it was
whole.
basically it all came down to the napkin because she said she came up with the idea for the entire company, but she couldn't find the napkin because he took it. Or no, because
No, he made his own,
she couldn't
lost
find
it.
it. She lost it.
and he had
He-
copied it.
Yeah, he wrote it down on a napkin and made it like seem like he came up with the idea. And then she found the napkin and sent the picture of her with the napkin to all the friends and was like,
Oh,
"Hey, guess what I found?"
Dave Bautista was going to her.
He was going to her and found Edward Norton coming back, which is another like small detail because when he's in the pool, he's
It's like, remember when you almost pancaked me outside of Andy? And he goes, Anderson Cooper's party.
yeah, and that's like that's another thing I have to see if he actually says Andy, and I was like,
He did say Andy.
I think he did, yeah,
And he goes, yeah, Anderson Cooper.
yeah, or see like if he actually grabbed, or see where Dave Bautista's gun disappeared, like if he actually didn't have it throughout the thing, or if he actually had it until the moment he died.
Yeah, it's little things you don't really pay attention to.
Yeah, but they all like add up. It's weird, like the way Rian Johnson's great at this, and it's like I didn't think.
Dude, that
there'd be a good
whole
one.
Mona Lisa thing.
Oh yeah, he basically like
He bought the Mona
he had
Lisa.
like a
Well,
governmental
he
loan.
leased it. Yeah.
He leased the Mona
Yeah.
Lisa because, like, the French, I guess France needed money or something.
Yeah, France needed money, and he was apparently rich enough to loan France money. You know,
And
it's
so
like,
they gave him the Mona Lisa temporarily.
Well, because nobody was going to the museums because of COVID, so they weren't making revenues from
Yeah.
that.
oh, that
So
makes
that's
sense.
why they were like, here, we'll loan this to you. You give us money.
It
Yeah.
probably wasn't that much for him. It was probably only a couple $100 million, which is a lot, but for him it's probably nothing.
Well, it's the most famous painting in the world.
Yeah,
Or one of the.
and they said that, or he said that they put like security on security on security.
But he showed them how to override it too, which
Yeah,
was
the
really
security is more
stupid of him.
expensive.
Which
Well,
was really stupid of him.
Yeah, he put.
Well,
an
we
override.
established that he's dumb.
Yeah, they did. He called
Yeah.
him an idiot.
Yeah, he put an override, so when like everything was like destroying, Janelle Monáe just pressed the button and lifted all the security and then burned the Mona Lisa at his compound. And it was clever. These Knives Out movies are very clever. Like, I've never read an Agatha Christie novel, but I assume there's something like this, where it's like every small detail matters. You have to pay attention to
Yeah, Murder on the Orient
every
Express.
little thing. Yeah, Murder on the Orient Express.
I
is
like
good.
that one. I didn't like the Death on the Nile very much.
I
That
have to
wasn't
watch
that
one. I
good.
haven't seen it.
It's alright. You're not missing much.
Yeah.
But I did like Murder No Expense was really good.
I like
Yeah.
that, yeah.
Yeah, and so I assume, like, this is probably... I've never read an Agatha Christie novel, but I assume this is probably something like an Agatha Christie
I think
novel.
he obviously takes inspiration from, like...
Yeah, and I'm excited to see the third one. I think Benoit Blanc is a fantastic, like, detective. He's funny as hell. He's like...
He had to relearn that accent because he forgot how to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
He's great. I love Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc. That's probably my favorite, like, role. I know he plays James Bond. But I
Well,
think
did
Benoit
play
Blanc-
James Bond.
Yeah, I think Benoit Blanc is, like, my favorite role from him.
Yeah, he's really good in that. James Bond is a little too serious, which all James Bonds are, but
Yeah.
with these roles, he really gets to like show off his acting.
Exactly. And he gets to have fun with it. You know, he's not
Yeah.
just like serious all the time. He's just funny sometimes. He's serious sometimes.
Which,
Sorry, I keep
that's
kicking.
that's fine.
But I thought like with Janelle Monáe's character, how she's like her twin sister, there was a really funny moment at the end where Birdie was like, "Andy, you never told me you had to sit. Wait a second."
Because she's stupid.
She's like, "You're the sister."
Because she's stupid.
yeah, and then the
How did she get rich?
She's like an influencer.
I know she is, but how did she make it?
I have no idea.
I love that they're like, how much they talk about like Dave Bautista being a Twitch streamer, and then he got moved to YouTube, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
they're putting too much of the real world into like.
Yeah, and then like, he like funded all of the scientist projects, and he's funded the campaign for the governor. He's basically, they say that they're all sucking from the golden tit, so they're saying like he's funding everything from them, so there's no way they're gonna like turn on him.
Yeah.
Like if they turn on him, there goes the funding for everything. There goes all of their lives down the drain. But he's like making them do this crazy shit. Like he's making Birdie J release a statement saying that she knew that her sweatpants that she developed were made in sweatshops. Which
Because
she
thought we're just sweatshops a place where you make sweats.
yeah, she thought it was a place where you make
She did, I
sweatpants.
forgot.
But like he basically has them all on a string to do whatever he wants. And if you have like a governor, a scientist, and like Twitch, like two social media influencers, like you have a lot of power, and you have billions of dollars. Like you have a lot of power.
I like when Jessica Henwick was like, we're like, why don't you just get another job? Or like, because like she hated working with Birdie J. Like she was like, it's awful. And she goes, well, when your resume reads Birdie J, supermarket, Birdie J, it's kind of hard to get a job.
Yeah. She was funny when she was like, no, you can't have your phone. She's like, but I want my phone.
Oh, what did she say? Because like didn't she like talk? They were talking about like she tweeted some like racial slur or something. She's like, I didn't know it was offensive.
Oh yeah, she's like
What was it?
Jewy.
Jewy.
Yeah, she goes.
She was like, I didn't think it was offensive. I thought it was just another word for saying cheap. And she was like, Jewy. And she's like,
Yeah, you're Jew.
yeah, I didn't know it meant Jewish. It was funny. She's basically like Kanye West right now. Where like she just said a bunch of like controversial shit. And
Well,
so she's
Kanye
not
West
wrong.
knows what he's saying.
Yeah.
I heard
She
people.
doesn't know anything. She
I
just
heard-
sounds bad.
I heard people saying that like this is the best performance Kate Hudson's given in like a long time.
I
But
haven't
she wasn't
seen
nominated for the Golden Globes. Nominated her last year for music.
Did they?
it. Yeah.
Her mom is Goldie Hawn. You know Kurt Russell's wife?
No.
Overboard? No?
No,
You lost
not
me.
a clue.
You don't know who Goldie Hawn? It's okay. My last car, I named my last car Goldie Honda. Because it was like a gold colored Honda. And I was the only one my age that like understood that.
Chris, I learn something new about you every day, and it makes me laugh every time.
You're welcome.
Chris sometimes will be at the movie theater and he'll just say random
You don't need to. It's okay.
I won't repeat
I was-
anything, but he'll
I
just
was
give us
trying
random facts.
I was trying to tell a joke about how Kate Hudson was nominated for an awful movie, and then Chris just sort of topped that. I'm speechless. Let's continue.
Well, I just said who her mother was. I don't understand why that's such
No,
a...
you named your car after her.
I didn't know. It was a joke because people name their cars. I was like, my car could be Goldie Honda.
Nobody's ever said it to me before in my life.
But no one's ever told you that they named their car?
I didn't even know who Goldie Honda was. Or
Goldie Hawn.
Whatever. I didn't
Well,
who that
you know,
was.
maybe watch a few movies.
Sure. I mean, I've seen a couple.
It's only a couple.
I've seen a couple movies. I don't know.
Only two. My
I'd
whole
like to
life.
say I'm at least proficient.
Well, at least two based on this.
These are the only two movies you've ever seen.
At least 2. Based on this channel, at least
Alright.
10, I think.
Well, we've been recording for an hour and a half, so want to do our final thoughts?
Already.
Alright?
It's
It's
an hour and 32 minutes.
Yeah, who's editing this?
Chris?
I didn't bring my thumb drive. I forgot it.
Chris.
I guess I'm stuck with it.
No.
It's okay. We'll just put it on the drive for you.
Look at the time. I have
Oh, look at the time.
What is the time?
8:32.
8:32.
Interesting. Okay. Another thing about this movie is Edward Norton. I thought he was fantastic. I thought he was good.
Yeah, he was good in this.
I've always liked Edward Norton.
Yeah, he's another one of those where I haven't seen him in a while
Yo, he-
recently, but he was good in this movie.
He looks more like Ethan Hawke than Kevin Bacon does.
He doesn't.
He does. Oh my god, the triplets, Kevin Bacon.
When Ethan Hawke came out, I actually thought it was Edward Norton at first.
Oh, it's the triplets, dude. It's the triplets.
Go ahead, make fun of Chris.
The Pokemon
Oh my God.
evolutions.
It could be. Oh my god. It could be the.
Hawk, Kevin Bacon, Edward Norton.
It could be the twin sequel, triplets, with those 3.
They were going to do triplets, where Eddie Murphy was the triplet.
Dude, his kids can play all his triplets.
He has like
Ethan
10.
Hawke?
No, Eddie Murphy
Yeah.
has like 10
Oh,
kids.
I think he
Murphy?
plays all of his kids too.
Wait,
Eddie
what are you
Murphy?
talking about? In
What?
what?
I
In
was
what?
thinking nothing. Just
Oh,
in
because
life.
he plays multiple characters, like in
Oh,
like in
yeah.
Nutty Professor.
The Nutty Professor.
I get it.
Thank
I see
you.
what you mean. Yeah. But Glass Onion. You guys said
Yeah.
you liked it better than Knives Out?
I personally liked it a little
I did,
more.
yeah.
I really because I like the way they did the. I mean, the last movie had a really good twist too, but I really like the way they did it in this one.
Yeah.
Like, halfway through the movie, it takes a complete 180, not just with like where the narratives went, but like with what everything you thought from before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the biggest difference between the two and what really hooked me in the first one is you thought you knew who killed him in the beginning. Like when you first watched the movie, you thought you knew she killed him. So it was less of like a who done it and more like I know you did it, but how
You
you
talk
gonna
about
get
for
away
Ana
with
de
it?
Armas, you thought she killed?
Yeah, like
Huh.
you thought you knew that she killed him.
Yeah, and I never
Because
thought
they
that.
showed that
I didn't either.
well, they showed the scene at the beginning where it was like her giving him the medicine and then he died.
Well, no, I thought didn't she walk up and he was dead?
Yeah, she walked away, and
No.
then he walked up, and he was dead, and his throat was slit.
Yeah, but she thought she killed him
But
because she
how
gave
is-
him. Do you guys not remember? No. She was giving him his medicine, and she said, "Oh my god, I gave you the wrong one." And it was like a medicine where like if she gave him too much, he would die.
Yeah,
And so she thought she gave him the wrong medicine because of the labels. And that's when she was like, "I need to go get help," and she ran outside. And then when she came back up, he had the knife to his throat, like don't worry, everything's going to be fine. And so he killed himself to make it seem like a suicide and not that she killed him. And that
Yeah.
was like in the beginning of the movie, so you knew that like she thought she killed him. and then it was less of a like mystery of who killed him and more of like a mystery of is she gonna get away with it. And then at the end you realize she didn't kill him. It was Chris Evans.
And he really slit his throat for nothing.
Yeah, he really slit his throat for nothing. She's actually a really good nurse. That's what you get at the end.
That's
Thanks for ruining it for me.
I mean, she's a good nurse, but that's got to be an awful feeling. Maybe like, wow, you know, I told him that I gave something that would have killed him. He just slit his throat.
Yeah.
If I didn't tell him anything, he'd be like,
Thanks for ruining it for me.
Have you not seen the first one?
No, I have. I'm kidding.
Why would you watch the second one without
I'm
watching the
kidding.
first
I
one?
have.
the second one has nothing to do with the first one, really.
Yeah, no,
You can watch this without
Actually,
having to-
Ryan Johnson said that he was really annoyed that it was a it was a Knives Out mystery.
Yeah.
He wanted it to be Knives Out 2.
No, he just wanted to be called Glass Onion.
He didn't want to be called Glass Onion. He wanted it to be like Knives Out 2.
No, he did. He just wanted Glass Onion.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, because he was saying that he wanted to not be he didn't want people to just associate with Knives Out, but he understood why they had to do it so that way people would watch it.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. Because, like, the only thing really connecting the two is Benoit Blanc.
Yeah, because the knives were in the first one. All the knives were.
Well, that's right,
Yeah.
because when they do like the Murder on the Orient Express, it's not like
it's not called
an Agatha Christie.
or whatever the guy or Mustache McGee's up on the Nile, whatever his name is.
What
it's
is his
not called,
name?
like, a Benoit
It's
Blanc
Kenneth.
mystery.
It's Kenneth Branagh.
Kenneth Branagh. Yeah, but I don't
I
remember
don't
what
know
the
his
character's
actual
name
name.
is.
What
But
is his name?
but Glass Onion was more of like a traditional sort of whodunit. Like,
Yeah.
Dave Bautista died, and through the rest of the movie, they're trying to figure out who killed him. And like, there's other twists too. There's other mysteries to solve, but like, it's more of a traditional like something happens. Now you have to figure out what.
Well,
what
it's
led up to it.
it's nice because
Hercule Poirot. That's what his name is.
all right.
Sorry, it was
nice
really
'cause-
bothering me.
Because the twist, and I guess we'll talk about the twist in this movie is about halfway through, like you're saying, we find out that Andy is actually Helen,
Yeah.
and and Benoit wasn't invited. Actually, he never even played the game with the box. She went to him with the box, and they did a trick where it's like, okay, let's say that you were invited, and then so the whole time is that the whole first half of the movie, they're both investigating a murder that already happened.
Yeah.
Because what the audience thinks that Benoit's just trying to figure out what's going on and who's going to do something to Edward Norton, but in reality, the whole first half, they're trying to figure out what already happened to something that we didn't know yet.
Yeah.
So they're like, and then halfway through the movie, they like break that to us,
Yeah.
and then we go back and we rewatch like the first half pretty much, but just through her perspective.
Yeah. You definitely like you think it's a certain movie until it gets to that point where it goes back in time to where she meets Benoit Blanc, and then it's a whole new movie.
Because then it does a whole beginning, but from their perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you realize
And
I really
That's
like
what
that.
I was. That's
Yeah.
what I was. That's what I was talking about earlier. Where it's like at first I wasn't really digging Janelle Monáe, and then when like she started playing Helen, I was like, oh, this is
yeah,
really-
and then she completely flipped, and I was like,
Yeah,
all
she
right,
was-
I like this. I like this better. Yeah,
She's actually a musician too.
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, she's fantastic. I like her.
She did a song with Fun. I saw that one.
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
Yeah, that's,
We Are Young.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, she definitely flipped midway through the movie, and I thought she was amazing when she flipped to Helen too, because like I was like, that was great. And then when they shot her, and like after the second time that they showed it, she was like, motherfucker, they shot me.
Shit balls.
Yeah.
They kept saying that. And I thought it was really funny.
When they put the hot sauce in the nose, he's like, shit balls, that's hot.
And he's like, "Here, let me give you." And he gives her the hot sauce, and it's just Jeremy Renner's face.
Yeah. But she was great, and then like, it was a weird twist because you realize like it's not the mystery you think it is. It's like it's a whole nother mystery. Like a third of the way through the movie, and you're like, oh, okay, I understand what's
Yeah,
actually
because
happening.
we're trying to figure out the mystery we think
I
it
like-
is, and then halfway through we're like, oh no, this isn't what we should have been paying attention to. We should have
Yeah.
been paying attention to this.
I liked when it
Yeah.
was doing that whole like, thing when she was like searching all the rooms, and she was, and she was in like Whiskey's room, and she was coming out of the bathroom from Whiskey's room after like searching it because she was looking for the envelope with the napkin, and she walks out and Whiskey's in, and she's like, and she kind of like screams, and she's like, I can't believe, because Whiskey thinks that she knew what happened to Dave Bautista,
Yeah.
and
Good,
she
yeah.
thinks, and she's like, I left him or whatever, but she doesn't know he's dead yet.
Yeah.
And so she's like, good, the bastard got what he deserved. And then she like
Because
picks up a harpoon.
she thought that she broke up with him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And so she like picks up a harpoon and she's like aiming it at her. And she's like, Whiskey, put it down. And And the lights go off and she screams. She's like, "Don't kill me." She's like, "I'm not gonna kill you, you crazy bitch."
That had me cracking. But she was like, "I'm not gonna kill you, crazy bitch." And then she ran by her.
The whole also they
I
talk about
laughed.
the whole
I
rich
laughed at
bitch
that.
character that her and her sister would do.
Oh yeah, they do like an
They call it
accent,
a rich bitch.
about being a rich bitch. Yeah, it was
It was
a
that the
good
dog
movie.
ate the caviar or something.
Yeah, it was a really good mystery. I liked it. I like movies
Yeah.
like this where it's like especially Knives Out, because a lot of the movies you'll know, like with Murder on the Orient Express. I'm not gonna spoil it, but like the twist at the end was more of like bigger clues. It was more of like they all had like motive to kill this person, but who actually did it?
Yeah.
It was less like small details. It was more of like they all have motive, but we actually have to look at the bigger picture of like who killed him.
I was kind of surprised because in this movie, it's they all had a reason to want to like kill Miles Bron, but he's not the one that ended up dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, it kind of like I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So when Dave Bautista dies, I was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah.
I thought the whole thing was gonna be it was a murder mystery, but for fun, haha. But he actually really dies.
Yeah. And it was clever with all the small details, because like I came into this movie remembering Knives Out, and I was like, I'm gonna try to catch at least one of these tiny details. I didn't catch a single one of them. I was like, what? How did I miss all of
The
this?
only one, the one that threw me off was when Edward Norton told his side of the story where like he handed him the glass by where they took his glass by accident. That whole thing, like I was like, that makes no sense. Like from that point, I was kind of like, I think
Oh, the
he's up to
whole
something
handing him
here.
the glass because he was holding it and then he sits down and like hands it to him.
No, not hands up, but when he puts it on the table.
Oh yeah, and
like, he
David
grabbed
Bautista's
it-
sitting right there looking
Yeah.
at it and then he grabs it.
That was like, why would you grab a cup that somebody just put down? But when they
Unless you
explained
thought
that
it
he
was
just
for you.
handed it to him,
Yeah.
yeah, it makes sense that he like handed it to him. That it was he thought it was his glass, that he was refilling his cup or something.
I love the scene when they're all like, they're all destroying his like glass like statues and everything.
Oh yeah.
At the end, I was like, oh, this is fun. I was like, I said out loud, like, oh, they must have had a lot of fun filming that scene.
When they first showed the Mona Lisa in that room, I was like, "Oh, she's not gonna last."
Yeah.
I was like, "They're gonna
That's
destroy."
gonna be
the
one of the
Mona Lisa
casualties.
somehow. Yeah.
Dude, what if they actually destroyed the real Mona Lisa for the movie? No, I
doubt
know.
that- I doubt that was even
What
the
if that,
real
like,
Mona Lisa.
I know,
they
I
had.
obviously-
Christopher Nolan builds an atomic bomb. Ryan Johnson destroys Mona Lisa. The directors are going too far.
What a few
Becoming
years for
way-
filmmakers.
Yeah. Movies are becoming an act of terrorism.
Christopher
now.
Nolan flew a plane into a building for Tenet.
Yeah. Like there's a lot of directors are becoming
He-
ballsy. With
He
stuff
did
they're
that,
doing.
didn't he? He actually had a plane flown into a building.
Into a hangar. For Tenet, yeah.
Did they build the hangar or was it already existing?
No, he. I mean, it was. I'm assuming it was a real building, but I know he actually flew that. plane
Who
into
flew it?
I don't know.
Probably a stunt man.
But
Probably
then that
Christopher
would-
Nolan himself.
Wouldn't that
could've
mean
been
the
a crash
person
fan,
in
who knows?
flying it would have died?
No, I'm sure they were in like a reinforced like cockpit or something like that. It may have just been a crash dummy. Who knows? Maybe it was an RC plane. Like it was just
Look
like
at it,
somebody
just
was
like little like,
like, oh my god, he's gonna crash. Get it.
it was like a plane with a bomb on it.
I don't remember. Tenet. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
That was a while ago. I don't remember anything.
I remember liking that one a lot.
Me too. I remember thinking like it was hard to keep up with.
The audio
But I
was
still remember it being okay.
the audio mixing was awful. I remember.
It was.
I just remember like there were parts where it was way too quiet and the parts where it was way too
Was it
loud.
nominated for best sound?
Well, there were parts that were way. It was like way too loud. You couldn't hear what people were saying. You know what I'm talking about? There were parts that were way too loud. You couldn't hear what the characters were saying.
I think I know what you're talking
I
about.
was like, what?
There was a lot of like weird sounds where like when they were going backwards, like everything sounded backwards, and it was kind of.
That's not
weird,
even
but
what
it
I'm
also
talking
sounded
about.
Cool. I don't know what you're talking about.
Sometimes like music or background sound was way too loud.
I need to rewatch it to get what you're saying.
Yeah, I need to rewatch it. I only watched it that one time when it came out in theaters, and now I haven't seen it since then.
Yeah.
I have to watch it again. But I remember being like really confused with what was going on in the movie, and then I was like, "Oh,
Because they
I
explained it
don't
at the
understand
end.
it still."
Well, they explained it at the end too.
Yeah, they explained it at the end, but I was like, it's just too much. I couldn't rack my brain around it. I was like, oh,
I remember the whole-
complicated.
The car chase sequence was really cool. I like that.
Yeah, the car chase sequence was cool.
When
The
they were
f-
going
the
through the
fight in the
facility.
vault?
Yeah, when they were going through the facility and then in the vault and everything was backwards and
yeah, when
forward.
they had to fight each other backwards, that was cool.
But Knives Out. I mean, Glass Onion.
Glass Onion, yes.
Onion ogres are like onions. They have layers.
Yeah. Anyways, Glass Onion, I'd say was good.
Yeah, I really liked it.
I don't know if I have anything else to say about it though.
I think I gave it like a 4.5.
I gave it a 4.5. I liked it more than the whale.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Even though I gave it the same.
I'd probably give it like a 4.
It was
I would
definitely
give it
more
a 4.
fun
I
than
liked
the
it a lot
whale.
better.
It was more fun than the whale.
Yeah. It was definitely. I mean, yeah,
Well, because the whale's not a fun movie.
it's a murder mystery.
The whale? No.
Yeah, the whale's a murder mystery. Who killed the whale? It's like, yeah, Subway did.
Ishmael.
Yeah, McDonald's killed the whale. I don't know, man. Who's Ishmael?
Ishmael from Moby Dick.
Yeah.
I've never
The captain.
I only
Oh,
ever read
gotcha.
bits and pieces, so I don't actually know if he ended up killing the whale at the end.
I never read Moby Dick. I gotta read it.
It's not bad.
I want to read The Old Man in the Sea, but that's off topic.
The story of his wife. What?
Anyways, yeah. So 4, 4.5, 4.5.
Yeah.
I don't know what the average is, man. I'm too tired of these.
Well, 13.5 divided by 2, that is
Was it 3?
6.7.
Isn't it divided by 3?
Yeah, divided by 4. Yeah, divided by 3. Yeah,
So 9.
It's
plus
4.3.
4.3. Yeah,
4.3333333.
yeah, 4.3. All right, we're done good, guys.
There you go. Good job, guys. Alrighty. Any last thoughts on Glass Onion?
No, that was a really good movie. That was real fun. Looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, I'm hoping to make more Benoit Blanc mysteries.
They should call it a Benoit Blanc mystery rather than Knives Out mystery.
Yeah, because Knives Out makes it sound like it's gonna be like connecting to the first one.
Electric
which it wasn't.
Boogaloo.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Like a Benoit Blanc mystery. I don't know.
They could just call it like a Blanc mystery.
They could have called it Knives Out too. The Squeakquel.
Anyway,
the next movie has to begin with the letter P,
Why?
why?
because if you think about it, Knives Out, the K is silent in knives, and the second letter is an O. And then for Glass Onion, the second letter is an O. And then,
What?
and then if the letter G, if you put the letter G next to an N, the G is silent, just like if you put the K next to an N, it's silent. And if you put a P next to an N, the P is silent.
Like pneumonia.
Yeah, like pneumonia.
Like
Can't be called pneumonia.
pneumonia's out.
Pneumonia.
No, pneumonia orphans. There's a bunch of orphans in pneumonia. He's trying to figure out how they got it.
Plague blankets.
The first word that came to my head when you said P, I was like pterodactyl, and I was like,
Pterodactyl.
wait
That's
second.
a PT.
But yeah,
I
no,
know,
the
but the P is silent. So
I don't
when you
know.
said it was silent,
I don't know if
was
this is
like,
on purpose or not, but like the second letter of each movie begins with
Drew,
an
I
O.
think you're reading
Yeah.
way too much into it.
So the second letter, at least the second letter of the third movie has to begin with an O.
Drew, they need to hire you to that creative team.
No, they don't.
They need to be like, all right, we need this Drew guy. He's doing great.
Metal onion.
No.
dark brand. Sorry.
Who is this guy?
I don't know. Maybe
anyways.
he'll like do another Star Wars movie, but a murder mystery.
So is that a wrap?
Yep, that's a wrap. That's a wrap.
You know what? Shut up.
That's a wrap.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to
Like and
like and subscribe. Thank you. I couldn't think of the words. Be sure.
Oh my god, Chris. What are you doing?
Be sure to like and subscribe. If we have any links below, go ahead follow. We're on social media.
Yes,
We have a letterbox that I don't think we've ever.
We ever actually like.
I use mine all the time.
I use mine.
Did we actually ever set up the Critical Eye one?
Someone did.
Someone, I thought she did.
She may have said it. I don't think we actually like.
Yeah,
reviewed anything
but
on it.
we're
It's set
on-
up, but we haven't reviewed anything on it.
We're on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook now. So
Yes. So follow us
if there's
there.
links below, go ahead follow us there.
Yeah.
And we're gonna record Avatar: The Way of Water now
Yeah.
review. So we'll see you guys soon. Thank you.
Yep,
Bye bye.
stay tuned.
All right, see you guys.
Later.